I'm sorry. No, not
Has
the
it really?
It's almost like what? It was like 14, 15 when the last season happened,
That's
right?
wild.
Wait. All right.
That makes me feel
Xbox
old, and I'm not even
360.
old.
The Xbox 360 is old enough to drive.
I hate
I
that.
hate it here.
Did you know that kids born in 2004 are 20 this year?
I mean, yeah.
Nobody was
Why?
born after 2000.
Why are
They
you
don't
doing that
exist.
to us?
Hold on.
Kids that were born in 03 get to drink this year.
Shots fired.
What?
Uh.
I feel really old now, Pastel. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Mission achieved. All right.
All right.
never
What did we
watched
miss on
Glee.
Glee?
Moral of this
Yeah.
section: old.
What did we miss on Glee? All right. Let me bring up the little story tractor. Just
You're so welcome.
wipe
I'm so
like
glad I
past
said
it.
something.
Yes. So glad. So glad. All right. Yeah, so I hope you guys appreciate the background picture of this one, as that was,
It's so cute.
yes, I know, that's actually from the story. So just imagine y'all with like, and like, look at their little leashes on their little antennae. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we started last session with all of your characters convening outside the Witchlight Carnival. Some of you worked for the carnival, some of you had made your various ways back to Neverwinter, to the location of where the carnival has appeared after another 8 years gone by. Let's see. After you guys got your respective tickets, you had kind of caught the eye / approached Halder, and in getting to know Halder a little bit, starting that conversation, Zelina also kind of came up behind, and you two introduced yourself with a little bit of a trick where Halder, you were able to yeet Zelina into the air, whereby she did like a tuck and roll and basically got up to a high wire spot within the carnival. Lots of cheering was had, and you guys were able to raise the mood, to increase the mood in the carnival, as that is kind of a mechanic that is in play in this part of the story. It is important for us to kind of keep track of where the mood is of the carnival, as well as how long you've been there. After which, Zelina offered to give your group a little bit of a tour, walking around. You know, she had a bit of free time, and as you guys made, you know what, I'll go ahead and switch us to the map, because that also will help spatially. There we go. Let me know when you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep, yep.
As you guys
Yee.
wonderful. As you guys, no, you're good. Made your way south of the ticket booth, you came across the mystery mine, where the only one that actually partook in the mystery mine was Etika. And it was this interesting ride where you found yourself in another land, essentially, another dimension. And it was very crazy, very loopy, very kaleidoscopic. And during this ride, you saw what you feared most, multiple visions of some sort of hag. That was very harrowing. And afterwards, you ended up confronting the carny who was running the ride by the name of Sufixo, you know, thinking that maybe the carnival was actually actively keeping a hag somewhere in that pocket dimension, trying to figure something out. And in response to that, all you just really received was sass from Sufixo, of basically being like, welcome to the carnival, I'm not going to tell you all our secrets after one ride. After that, you guys continue to walk around, and you reached the 1 hour mark of being at the carnival, where some of you had received some gifts in catching the little the plant life that was falling from the tree, and some of you got to blow on some dandelions and made some wishes. The next activity that you guys partook in was the snail race, where Zelina and Victor were the only ones to participate. The rest of the group was going to go watch in the stands. After a little bit of attempts to handle some of the snails, Victor ended up, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I went back to my notes and I was like, I couldn't remember, Wheezy, and Zelina rode Queen's Majesty.
I believe so.
Yeah, and Queen's Majesty
about
was
right.
like an older snail, but or sorry, Wizzy was the older snail, but had very much a lot of gusto still left within him. And Queen's Majesty was just regal and steadfast. Um, let's see. During the whole ride, Zelina, you were pretty confident the entire time, as you know, this is probably some animals, some creatures that you deal with on the daily, if not weekly, as you do find yourself kind of, I would say, well, they're right next door to your guys' tent, but also you do find yourself in the company of various creatures within the carnival. Um, but something did happen during the snail race, and that was at the final stretch. Vaughn, you tried to scare the snails with some sort of illusionary magic, and before you could even get your spell off, you were caught trying to cheat. And you were in the act of, whoa, Crow?
Sorry, that's my entrance command.
Oh,
I must have lost connection for a hot second. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. You're good.
That was funny.
When you were in the act of getting escorted from the carnival, Halder noticed it and stepped in, and with a little bit of intimidation, you were able to take over the goblin's job. And from there, it was at that point that Vaughn ended up noticing that not only were your wings taken, but your ticket was also taken. And due to the act of getting trying to caught, do the act of getting caught trying to cheat, the mood of the carnival did lower a little bit. Eventually, the rest of the group caught up with Vaughn, and Zelina, kind of seeing through Vaughn a little bit, you ended up like taking him aside into Kai's tent for a quick chat. Where you kind of, put it forth. You revealed a little bit more about yourself. Your accent dropped, and you just kind of called him out. And from that, basically, Kaida had like heard this conversation as Kaida was with some customers in the front of the tent, kind of peeked her head in the back, and at this point you guys had decided to disguise Vaughn in an attempt to at least get Vaughn back to the ticket booth. Kaida donated her turban in that effort, as you were going to disguise Vaughn specifically as Kaida, and you guys took some time and were able to very successfully disguise Vaughn as Madame Kaida, and the rest of the group was then able to make their way back up to the ticket booth while you and Vaughn, aka Kaida, were at the ticket booth. The other part of the group went to the Calliope section to listen to the Calliope. It was back at the ticket booth where you did drop the disguise and talk to the ticket seller again, Nicholas, into getting a cheaper ticket, but it did come with some sort of pact where Vaughn, you got bestowed.
Oh my god, my pumpkin.
Yep, he got bestowed a pumpkin, Gordon, I believe.
Yes.
That needs to be treated like an egg/child. And so now you have this little, like, tiny little pumpkin in the nook of your arm. And then over,
Father's Day.
yeah, and then back at Calliope, you guys discovered, or you had asked essentially to play along with the Calliope, and they allowed you guys to join in a performance, and it was very sweet, and it was a lovely little song. And from this exchange, and from some of the buttons you guys had donated, you ended up raising the mood back up in the carnival. We ended the session with your group heading over to the Dragonfly rides. Everybody except Zelina and Halder rode the ride. Zelina and Halder kind of stepped to the side and caught up on the events of meeting these new, strange, interesting folk, as you guys are a little bit intrigued by these new friends, ? That you have found yourself in the company of. And when everybody else was about to start the Dragonfly ride, one dragonfly got spooked and ended up throwing a dwarf participant. It was Halder, Victor, and Zelina who had noticed somebody kind of slinking away off in the distance by a tree, a shadowy type figure, at the same exact time that this was happening. Other than that, nothing else of note happened, and it was at this point the carnival lights began to flicker as a sign that the next big event, the Big Top event, was about to begin. And that is where we are picking up now. It is hour 4 of you folks being here at the Witchlight Carnival, and the crowds are slowly filtering towards the Big Top. I do have the icon there, but you guys are starting out effectively from the Dragonfly rides. Is there anything that you guys want to do, say, have a scene with, talk to each other before you guys head to the Big Top?
I think Madame Zelina would recognize that Madame Kaida might want to be at the Big Top.
Mm-hmm.
And she would like to summon her Blink Dog companion that will help her in the carnival and give him the turban to take back to her tent.
Wonderful. So kind of like along the way, you sync up with Madame Kaida. You summon the Blink Dog to take the turban back. I'm just reiterating what you just told me. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so he can go find her and we can just go to the Big Top and I don't have to run all the way down there and find her and all that. Plus, then they can meet Ant, my doggo.
You named the dog. Okay.
His name is Antares, but we call him Ant.
I love that. Antares. Can you spell that for me?
Antares. In my imagination, all the Blink Dogs were named after celestial things.
Period. I love that.
And that's a.
I love it. And how old would you say Antares is?
He was given to Zelina because he needed to retire, so very old.
Okay.
Old enough to not do shows anymore.
Okay. All right. So, would you... I'm trying to think. Let's see. Because... Let's see. You had the turban, and when you left Kaida's tent, it was Vaughn who was taking a nap. So would you kind of like go off to the side or maybe do this before the rest of the party comes back and summon Ant? Or do you want Ant to still meet the group and like then like all of a sudden give Ant this turban to run back to Madame Kaida?
I think that I want them to meet the dog because I think he's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her goal would be to be like, oh, look, this is my dog. And then just kind of tuck the turban in his collar or whatever and just like whisper to him what he should do.
Okay.
And just try to not be casual about it, but she's doing a deception.
Okay.
For sure. Maybe like a sleight of hand thing to like flip it on him.
Let's go ahead. As everybody's, getting off the Dragonfly ride, you guys kind of see off to the side where Halder and Zelina are waiting, and as you guys are approaching Zelina, you see in a poof out of nowhere, in a literal blink, maybe you're kind of looking off to the side, all of a sudden there's this gorgeous looking dog. Zelina, what does Ant look like to you as a blink dog? Like, are there any defining features or anything?
I think all his fur is definitely peaked with gray. He looks old, but his eyes are still sparkly and bright. You can tell there's intelligence there. But he does look like a little old man.
I love that. Oops. Yeah, so Ant, he's retired. He doesn't have to necessarily be in the fittest of form, but he still looks, I would say, pretty regal. And as soon as he kind of gets into existence and sees Zelina, you guys see his demeanor kind of peak up before he just kind of plops himself and sits down and leans against Zelina happily as the rest of your party kind of walks up. And Ant is very much, his attention is on Zelina. He's been very well socialized, so it's not like a lot of folk or even approaching folk really kind of take his attention away, as his attention is just fully on Zelina.
Hello, baby. And then just like give him a little scratch behind his ears using her normal voice where nobody can hear her. Just like scratching him behind the ears, wrapping her arm around him.
Yeah, because he is probably, like, him sitting is probably your height.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
kind of what I picture, actually.
Yeah,
so,
when she like puts her hand around his neck, it's like her whole arm. Like,
Yep.
she can hug him around the neck. Yeah.
Oh my god, you know what I'm picturing? I think we talked about this before, but just to actually say it for the group, like, if you've ever seen Labyrinth, the movie from like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And there's that
Oh,
set.
the Hawkeye everyone slips over?
Say that again?
The one with like the Hawkeye that everyone slips over?
Yes,
Blonde guy?
yes.
I haven't
There's-
watched it, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And I'll probably drop a picture in chat, but there's a character who is like guarding, I think, a bridge in the movie, and he's a very tiny dog, but he has like a dog companion. He's like a chevalier, and he rides the dog, and it's very like Muppet like because he's a Muppet. But that's exactly
Cute.
what I'm picturing because he has like a whole saddle for the dog. Have you seen that movie, Pastel?
A long time ago.
Oh my god, he's got fancy whiskers and everything. Oh, here's a picture.
Love pictures.
All right, this can be dropped.
Pictures help everyone.
Yes. There you go. It's in chat.
Oh my god, yes.
Also, I love that dog. Specifically, this breed
Good
of
dog.
It's such a good dog. So, lovely. And let me just double check something about blink dogs. Because what languages do you speak again, Zelina?
Checking. Dwarvish, Common, and what was the other one? I don't know why I don't have it on this list.
Is it Sylvan?
Yes,
Ha!
because yeah, Sylvan, Dwarvish, and Common.
Okay, so you would know this from training, but blink dogs can understand Sylvan, but they don't speak it.
Ah, okay.
So, because they are technically classified as a monster, but like it's one of those things where like fuck it, blink dogs are cool, but they're a fucking dog. So when in D&D when they say they can understand it, it's not just like dogs of our world like can kind of understand our. No, they fully consciously understand language. So like you can say full on sentences. You can say like go this way, go that way, and they would actually understand fully. Very intelligent beings.
Okay, so would you say that you guys are with us again?
Yes. Yes. So you guys walk up, and all of a sudden there's this massive dog that Zelina just is like leaning around, scritching, and the dog's just tongue is just out. And once you say those words to him, Zelina, he just gives you a big old lick on the side of the cheek.
Did you
Zelina would
speak
look
in
at them and
Sylvan?
say, when she spoke to him, she spoke in Sylvan, I guess. But that was before you guys were there.
Ah, okay.
So she would turn to them and say, my friends, my new friends, would you like to meet my faithful companion, Antares?
Oh my gosh,
That's a
doggo.
cause.
He's best boy. You love him. You can pet.
Antares
You
kind
might
of
want to pet.
yeah. Antares seeing
I'll
Zelina
just
kind of
look
looks
down
at
to
everyone.
Victor.
Hmm.
I want to, but I've been having trouble with animals here.
Yvonne just kind of like eyes it, like not interested whatsoever in petting this dog.
I'll go pet the doggo. Smush the face.
The,
Bloop,
fa-
bloop, 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 bloop.
the face is very much smushed, and this dog instantly like leans into your touch. You can tell that I don't know if you've ever been around like retired puppers, but they know that they've given their service and they kind of lean into it. They've been very again socialized, and there's an intelligence in Antares's eyes that you probably have not necessarily seen in other creatures of this size or manner. It's like looking into an old soul, to put it bluntly.
I'll walk up beside Victor as he's petting, but I won't pet myself. I'll just have my hands behind my back.
It's
Not small
okay,
enough
you
to
can pet. Are you scared of dogs?
No, not this one at least.
Come on, Edric, look at him. He wants the pets. You should give him the pets. Practically begging.
Lena like
kind
gives
of-
him big bunny eyes, like, come on.
I'll take
dog."
half a step forward and kind of lean down with both my hands behind my back, and I'll speak in Sylvan. May I?
Antares turns his head, stands up, takes another step towards you, and then immediately turns around and presents his rump.
Wait, what
Of
does
course.
this mean?
Dogs like pets on butts.
Von chuckles.
Oh, that's right.
I
That's fair.
suppose I should have seen this coming. I'll just all the way down, just scratching everything down.
Oh yeah, he leans into it to the point where you kind of help him lay down, and then he's on his back and he's exposing his belly.
I'll give him belly rubs too.
There we go. And then eventually you let go, and he like just looks at you like, "That's it." But you don't have to continue. It's just very dog behavior.
I'll
Very dog behavior.
I'll slowly stand up, put my left hand behind my back, and just go. And I'll turn back to Madame Zelina. Yes, is your character Zelina? Yeah, close enough. And I'll just nod at you.
I think she'd smile like, okay, you tried.
Good effort. Seeing and taking a cue, Antares sits back up, shakes off a little bit, and then goes and sits next to Zelina once more.
Is this one yours, Zelina?
He's my faithful companion. He used to work here at the carnival. He's now retired. He's so old, but he still has a lot of life. So my good friend, the Beastmaster, let me keep him as my friend. He stays over here at the carnival. He sleeps in my tent. It's very cute.
I trust you are giving the old man a good pension, then. Plenty
But
of treats.
Oh, absolutely. He really likes the, how you say, dried meats. Jerky? Jerky. He likes the jerky. No. I don't technically have any jerky, but for the bit, could I pull out a little piece of jerky and give it to him?
Sure, because he totally, when you say those words, he is very attentive and like sniffing into your pockets, being like,
Because I would
it's
never
like saying
prestidigitation a treat, so I got
that's
it.
fine.
Make this happen. Okay, I pull out a little treat for him and give it to him.
And he ever so gingerly, knowing his size, just like plucks it from her hand, her tiny little hand, and then once it's in his mouth, he goes,
Absolutely devoured.
And just the second before it goes crazy feral about eating the jerky, I go, such a gentle... Never mind.
What's great is Lena was literally about to say he's such a gentle boy. But we don't want to be late for the big top extravaganza. We should get going. And I think I want to kind of like point everyone's attention towards the tent so I can pull Antares to the side and send him on his mission.
Suppose it would be unbecoming if we were late to the big event.
Yeah, we should probably
Halder
get
can
going.
show you the way. Halder knows very well.
Lead the way, dwarf.
She's like giving him a look like, help me out. I need to talk to my dog.
Halder kind of like nods to follow him and starts walking towards the big top.
All right. Kind of setting yourself up for a little bit more of a success. Please go ahead. I would say sleight of hand or deception, your choice with advantage.
I've got a I think I have better sleight of hand. I'm proficient, so let me do that. Oh,
Added 28.
Perfecto. All right. Yeah. That beats anyone's passive perception currently. So easily enough, none of the party and a lot of other people that are also around, as I would say like 3/4 of the people have already started making their way towards the big top, have noticed. And Halder, knowing immediately and recognizing the hat, knows his mission. And just like that, he blinks. And then you see, like, down the road, because they only have a certain amount of distance that they can actually blink, you see him blinking away rather than running to make his way towards Madame Gaida. You turn back, and your party is only maybe, like, 10, 15 feet ahead of you. So you can easily catch up. Now, the Big Top event is and this is for Halder and Zelina. This is a show that lasts for about an hour. There are a variety of different performs or events that happen during this. Would you say your characters actually do partake in the Big Top extravaganza, or are they more like supporting the others out of curiosity? I just want to make sure, like, do you guys want to step into the limelight? Do you want to witness?
I think Halder would, right?
Do his like strongman thing.
Zelina's not really a party trick kind of girl. It's more of a one-on-one, so I don't think she'd be like have a starring role or anything.
Okay.
But
I feel like Halder might, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be his towel girl. Make sure he's hyped up for his performance. Give him some water. Put in his mouth like a boxer, you know? The usual.
As you guys reach the front of the Big Top, now this is kind of where if Halder is going to be a part of the actual event, he'll have to split off and kind of go behind stage. If you want to be his towel girl, you'll also have to do that, Zelina. It is your call, unless you want to sit with the rest of the group in the stands.
I'll go with him.
Okay.
That way, if anything goes super wrong, I might be able to help.
Yeah.
You know.
So you guys reach the Big Top here. It is, exactly as you see it. It has the 3 major pinnacles in the front, and it's got tinier tents at the back that help support, funnel in the variety of different acts that will be taking stage. When you guys enter, it's very much just like what you guys picture if you've ever seen like your typical circus act. You funnel in through one major entrance where the door in the tent is 2 flaps that are open, and the actual entrance is probably about 15 feet tall. So it's very much larger than your average door and wide enough that you can have at least 3 people walk in comfortably at the same time. You enter, and there's stands immediately to your left and right. You can see that there's kind of a staff area behind the stands that are cordoned off, and there's trash cans for a variety of different, just to help with the trash and everything. And the stands themselves are, I would say, about 20 feet high. The top at its most is probably at least 100 feet tall. It's very tall. Like you can notice, and you can see there's different apparatus in the center of the stage. Now as you walk past the stands, it opens up, and you can see there is like 3 rings of different it's not just one big stage. It is like a very active scene, and you can see that there's tight wires that are strung up there to show you how tall these people are about to do like these massive feats of crazy balance and athleticism. The stands themselves, I would say, are about 50% full. It's despite it being like the first night that the that the carnival is open, it's not like it's a completely sold out show. So that being said, where would your party like to sit? Would you guys like to sit in the middle? Would you like to sit in the front? Would you like to sit in the nosebleeds? Where would you folks sit? And would you sit together, apart? I don't know.
Vaughn is completely okay with sitting together.
I'll be sitting next to Victor. You wish to sit in the front, you said.
We're staying in the front, bring everyone into the front.
Okay. We can find seats.
So I take it Victor kind of leads the way to the front. And then Vaughn will just follow behind them.
I am perfectly capable of walking on my own, Victor.
Then walk faster.
I'm an old man with a cane. Please slow down. I jest. I don't need this.
Isn't he like 30?
40s.
Oh.
Again,
Okay, maybe he is
man
old.
in air quotes.
Air quotes.
I was saying that in the effort to slow you down. I'll stand back. Where I kind of like mocked being an old man crouching over my cane, I'll just stand right back up and I'll flick my cane into my palm. Fine, you win. I'm not speeding up though.
All right. So your group makes its way, you said to the front, kind of nearish? Okay. Most of the front row is actually taken up, but you guys can like split up where maybe there's like 2 in front and 2 in the second row. And you guys are easily able to find your seats. And it's at that point, the lights begin to dim and a hush falls over the crowd. A second later, a spotlight illuminates a lithe elven figure sitting in a silver hoop suspended above the center ring by silk ropes. The elf wears a dazzling suit of diamond-paned mirrors and a pair of butterfly wings. His scepter is topped with a spinning vane. Welcome, one and all, to this evening's extravaganza. I am Master Light. Prepare to be delighted.
He always was extravagant.
What begins to play out before you as the spotlight kind of fades from him down to the floor is you see a little bit of a parade of various different performers that begin to come forth from the shadows of where the staff was, and they kind of start hinting at the various talents that they will be performing for you this lovely evening. They come out with various different scepters themselves that they are twirling, acrobats that are jumping forward, left, right, twirling. They're bending over backwards and walking like in a very, to me, like a horror-esque way, tilting their heads with like gesture-like qualities. Mr. Light all of a sudden appears before the crowd, no longer suspended in the air. And over the course of this next hour, begins to introduce act to act. The first act is an interesting one where there's an entire kind of tank that is rolled out in front of you all, where there is the most beautiful sea-type creature that you guys have seen, if you have even seen them. Mr. Light introduces, and now for our first act, Palasha, who I found her on the shores yonder in the north. Folk there had told me whispers of nights where sailors had been lost at sea only to be found on the shore once more, singing a tune to themselves, speaking of a lovely serenade that called them forth from the waves. I went out myself, and I was enraptured by Palasha myself. Though I was able to steel myself and say, wouldn't you want a larger audience for all of the lovely notes that you'd be able to play? And so we struck an accord. The The matters of those accords are between her and I, but just know her serenade is just as lovely and as divine, and you will empathize with those sailors and just walk away with an appreciation that you're not lost at sea. So please, listen along with me and give her your full attention. It's at this point you watch as the tank, which seemed a little bit murky itself, there's something that appears out of the water and opens itself. It's this large clamshell. And she reveals herself, her tail kind of unfolding like it was the tongue of the clamshell. And this horrifyingly beautiful woman just begins to lull you all into a sense of romance, of hope, of security. I need everyone to go ahead and give me a charisma check, please.
Okay, remind me how to do this.
On your character sheet, it is
Right.
on the left side where your attributes are. You just click on the word charisma.
Under saving throws?
Not saving throws.
Okay.
The actual word itself on the left side.
Ah, okay.
Slay.
Lovely. You know, it kind of checks out that I feel like Zelina would roll a 6, only because you've probably seen this performance like so many times. So many times.
Same here, probably.
Well, she
yeah.
has a quirk that really good music makes her cry no matter what. So no matter what happens, she's just openly weeping listening to this if she's listening.
Where you don't necessarily maybe like feel the pull, you all are still very much enraptured by it. Victor, you are completely just hypnotized by her, and for a good while it almost feels like she is singing directly to you and only to you.
Oh.
This performance was for you.
Hey, yo?
And when it ends, it's almost like somebody shut off the light and left you in the cold, only to want more. And when her song ends, she folds back in her tail, she folds back in her clamshell, and with squeaky wheels, her little aquarium is once more kind of taken away from the stage. Mr. Light comes back out, wiping away some tears. You see a little bit of makeup getting wiped away too. And he goes, "Oh, just as lovely as when I had first found her. This never gets old, honestly. But now that we were softened by her serenade, how about we bring a little bit of, how do we say, burliness, some masculinity. I bring next Halder, a little dwarfen of a man, with a heart of gold and the strength to support that. Please, welcome to the stage, Halder." All right, Halder. The stage is yours. Let's talk. What do you? Yeah, talk to me. Describe to me how you, in your head, Halder's performance would be.
I believe in you.
Got this, Kyle.
I'm just wondering.
All good. Do you see him being someone who would just outright be like like when I think of strong man, I think of someone who is like the world's strongest man, where they're known to like, you know, lift larger and larger amounts of quantity? Or would you see as like a strong man in that like you can bend certain things like iron, or you can like lift audience members and have a little bit more participation with the audience. Like, is he much?
You throw a truck.
Do you throw a truck? Do you pull a truck? Is there anybody that, or like a creature that you could think of, like, that you would love to be a part of your act that would maybe be supplementary to it? Like, the world is your oyster of how you kind of see him and build him in your mind. He is short, so does he use that to leverage his strength in some way?
I feel like he's more of like the typical like world's strongest man, kind of just lifting a bunch of heavy stuff.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's see. My brain keeps going to like almost like Looney Tunes-esque, where you see like the barbells that are circular as you go to lift stronger and stronger, and then like maybe the first time you lift it with both hands and like, oh, it's so strong, but then like the next time you're like, oh, but I can do it with one hand. Hello, you know. So let's see. Let's have you go ahead and, you know, we'll our description of this is maybe you have like, you already start out with things that are above average heavy and you make your way stronger and stronger. I'm not much of a lifter, but I do know like, you know, squats that are above like 200 plus are pretty heavy. Like on a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like the actual strongest man, is Halder in this world of fantasy? Is Halder actually like that? Or is he much more of a performer, but he likes to think of himself as strong?
I feel like he's definitely like strong.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably like 7, 8 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah. Definitely has room for improvement, and maybe he's always like working on his act to try and like just always get better to that PR. Maybe he sees like being on the performing stage as a workout itself, and you have your own personal audience to cheer you on. Okay, let's go ahead and have your character roll a athletics check. If you, and this is where it's like, okay, if you think this performance is your average performance, I would say roll it with advantage. We'll go from there. It's basically a performance check. If you think he is trying to impress people or going for like a PR, then maybe let's just roll a straight performance check.
He's definitely trying to like impress a little bit and like show off.
Okay.
Doesn't he have a bonus this session?
He
to one of his
does.
rolls?
Well, he has inspiration. So if he wanted to, you have that D6 from being the MVP that we decided as a group at the end of last session.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So if it's not a great roll, you can always roll that on top of it.
Correct.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if that influences which way you do it.
I'd say definitely trying to show off a little bit. It's not like he does a little bit more each show.
Okay.
Just to keep it interesting.
Okay.
So, just normal athletics
Yeah.
check?
Yeah, let's just do the athletics. I think I said performance before, but I was just trying to give you advantage if it was just like a normal show, but a straight roll if it was. Wonderful. And before I give you results, do you want to roll your inspiration on top of that?
Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
You have a +6 to athletics. That's sick.
It's because he's a barb.
And then those D6.
Yes, D6. Okay, an 18.
Alright.
All right. So, this is how I see it in my mind's eye. Oh, I love this. Okay. So, when you enter the stage, there is like a half circle in front of you, laid out before you, and like different carnies come out, and with a flourish, it takes a group of them to even move any of the weights that you're about to lift. And when you come out, you actually have barbells in your hand that you're actually just actively like warming up with, like one after the other. And for those of you in the audience, like Halder at this point is like popping. His veins are popping, and it's almost like he took like a protein shake or something, Kickstarter, like before he went on. But like you're probably oiled up a little bit because they would use oil in the limelight to like make you look even like, you know. And your little helpers do kind of add to the comedic effect as you begin lifting your weights. And the first couple few, easy peasy. And you know, there's slight clapping from the audience. You get to the mid-level, and you act like, you know, oh, they're a little bit heavier, but you're definitely kind of playing into it. You're feeding into the audience. The audience is very magnetic and watching you go. And you can see like off to the side, the carnies kind of chit-chattering and like kind of building you towards the final weight that you're going to be lifting. And the audience is getting a sense like, oh, something's going on. This is different. Seems like a bigger deal. And the second to last one, you start like faltering. You can feel your muscles like failing on you, and you're like, oh man. You start to doubt in your head of like, why did I do that trick with Zelina earlier? Because I expended energy that I should have expended, and you know, you got halfway up on it, and there's this little scene where the carnies are like, maybe you shouldn't try for the last one. But then you do, and it is at least 15 pounds heavier than your previous PR, and you're able to lift it not only to your chest, because the way that I'm seeing it, you're doing I think it's called a clean, where you pull it up to your chest from the ground.
Yeah.
But you're able to clear over your head and do a squat, and everyone is cheering. You let it fall to the ground. You even grab some of the carnies and you're like, rah! Cheering to the point where you end up going to like the first row, and the benches aren't actually nailed in the ground. You lift like some kiddos out in the front row and like show like with ease, you know, kind of cheering, and the kids are like, yay! The parents are like, you know, and they kind of have this like horror, but then they realize, no, it's okay. And then you gently, because they're like, oh God, I hope they don't drop the kids like he dropped that barbell. But then you're able to easily lower the kids back down on the bench, and you strike your poses, and there's just very clearly like some chit chattery of like, oh my goodness, like, oh, who is this guy? And once you are done with your act, you take your bow. Mr. Light comes out, and he has a fan, and he is fanning himself, and he's, oh my, Halder. When I think you can't one-up yourself, you just go even further. My goodness. Do you have anything to say to the lovely crowd before you go very much taking a nice little break? Oh, I didn't think your muscles could get any bigger.
I feel like he would keep it short, and just, he would say, just
He could also be a man of very few words and just kind of nods and smiles.
Flex. Twitch.
yeah, I feel like he would kind of just like nod, give a little pose, and then exit.
Whew. And Mr. Light goes, Boy, oh boy, do I hate to see that guy go, but boy, do I like to watch him leave. Am I right, folks?
Can I chirp from the crowd?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to kind of just like half stand up. You may have some competition there, Mr. Light.
Ooh.
And I'll wave at him.
Competition, you do say, my dear man. Well.
Oh, not from me. From them.
Interesting that you would stand up amongst this lovely little show. Do you have any performances you wish to bring to the stage now that you have the spotlight? And Mr. Light kind of like looks to the side, and all of a sudden whoever's running the spotlight like moves it to you.
Oh, no. I couldn't possibly interrupt such a beautiful show.
No. I was actually getting to the point in our show where I do actually ask the audience if there's anything they wish to share. Do you have any acts that you would like to perform for the crowd? Now's the time.
Humility calls me to ask if there are others who would like to go before me. And I'll gesture at Victor.
His eyes kind of look over at Victor, and let's see. Everyone give me a perception check.
Okay.
I have 2 thoughts in brain.
2 thoughts in brain?
Wait, we're clicking on perception, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the word.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh my.
Oh, big rolls.
Okay. Whoo!
Ooh.
I feel like I'm missing.
Oh, me. Sorry, I'm slow. Perception, yeah.
We'll get you that haste potion.
I was gonna say we'll see if the die. Oh, okay. Wow. Everyone notices this. It's ever so slight, and because you guys sat in the front row, you're able to catch this. His eyes dilate ever so slightly. It almost seemed to be cat-like before they kind of reset, and when his eyes kind of rest on Victor, you just catch something off, just like ever so. It just makes you go in your gut.
My smile was just slightly downturned.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll fix it as soon as I realize that, hey, we're under a spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep the mood up.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Light just kind of motions to the stage with his little weather vane scepter. Do you have anything you wish?
Does that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Does.
Does Victor take the stage?
Well,
I'll
Victor.
take it. Fuck it.
I imagine the exasperatedness that you just did is exactly kind of what it sounds like. You're like, ugh. And if you got like a bucket of popcorn, you just fuck it. You pass it off to someone. You stand up.
I push it into Etika, just like here.
Lovely.
There's a perfectly fine bench behind us, Victor. For the love of... As he turns away, I'll kind of just slap him on the shoulder and cast guidance.
Oh, love that. So guidance for the next minute, you have the ability to roll on top of whatever you need to roll a d4 for any ability check. But it's only for the next...
Dear, I'll clean up the popcorn.
And you step over, if you guys can picture like, your typical circus rings. They have like the actual ring is probably about like half a foot tall, so you have to step over to get into the ring. Mr. Light kind of just saunters up to you very smoothly, crooking the scepter in the crook of his arm. What is your name, dear one?
The name is Victor Mossgrove.
Victor Mossgrove. And what is it that you'll be sharing with us this evening?
Well, the good old classic juggling.
Oh.
Juggling. Juggling what?
I'll stop myself from saying something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, lady. Shoot. Victor just looks into his bag. What happened, my shit? Give me a second. He has actually a lot of random stuff. Just juggling random objects that I can find in my bag.
Well, all right. Everyone, please give it up for Victor Musgrove, the juggler. And he just slow claps and he kind of steps back in the limelight. Spotlight still is on you.
Well, first, I believe he has to start with his 2 light hammers to start juggling. Should I do an acrobatics?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
That's exactly what I'm picturing in my head.
Oh god.
There is
Okay.
the option of guidance.
I always give a pause in case, like, when you have this stuff, if you want to use anything extra, you're welcome to. Before I give you your result.
I do have to be right back though. Being called.
Did they say out of character they have to be right back?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I would just like to note that Vaughn has been sitting in the stands, just absolutely beaming in amusement. His
Confirm
eyes
you
are
just
kind
said
of glowing
Vonathan?
a little bit. Huh?
Confirm you just said Vonathan?
No, I said
Vaughn
Vaughn.
has been.
Oh,
Vaughn-
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
My brain is weird.
Vonathan.
I rolled a 4, correct?
But no, he's just been
Yes.
sitting there. His eyes are kind of like glowing a little bit, and he's just absolutely amused.
3, that's almost the best you could get. Good job.
So that's the 3 plus the 6.
Mm-hmm. So that's a total of 9. It's mediocre. You definitely drop at least 1 hammer, and the crowd goes, "Oh," and they just
Vaughn
kind of
giggles slightly.
They start looking at each other. There's a couple awkward claps, and Mr. Light off to the side has one of those like plastered grins that he's just grinning like the entire time. You can't really tell if it's good or bad yet, but he's letting the act before him
That's kind
play
of
out.
concerning.
Hmm.
Do I see him?
Yeah,
Can I pull out more?
Can I
yeah. It's
tell
your.
if he's mocking?
He's just. It's more like just describing. I don't want to say he's not mocking. He's not like actively. He's just kind of letting the performance play out before him. Zelina, you would know that there's always a point in the big top event where Mr. Light does allow other audience members to just kind of come forth. So this is not anything new. It might just be kind of bumped up in the timing of events because oh my gosh, Etika kind of like stood up and gained attention right away, so he just kind of improvised a little bit.
If Madame Selena is backstage,
Mm-hmm.
could she look for some actual juggling things to like toss to him so maybe he could try and do it better? Cause,
Totally.
Like, yeah, can I like do
Yeah.
I need to do anything to look for them, or can I just like
You would know where they are. So if you want to give me some suggestions on what you think would be good, I think you could totally support him.
I think some of those bowling pins. Exactly. It's very similar to axes, but he would have enough to actually like do something impressive with.
Yeah, totally.
Juggling acting.
So I guess she would because I've just in my head she's been kind of like hiding behind the curtain watching everything, cheering from the background, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So she would see this kind of issue and realize that it might negatively impact the carnival. So she grabs 3 like bowling pins and shouts out, "Victor!" Wait, it's Victor, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Victor, catch! And just like they're
I'm
almost as
imagining
big
that's
as
in
she
character.
is, but she does her best to like toss them out to him so he has actual things to juggle.
All right. let's do this. Because you're tossing it to him. You're not like, because you're like, and this could be part of the act where you're just like, hey, catch, and then he could probably easily go into juggling them. Let's have both of you do, let's see, I would say throwing is athletics for Zelina. And for you, Victor, it would be acrobatics.
Wow, I really should not be doing this. It's a -1. Oh my god, good thing you did good. Okay.
Can
Big money or
I?
whammy.
Oh,
Yes, okay.
Okay, that you're not doing, it's not like you're doing a Hail Mary, right? Like you, and with the 21, for the flavor of it, because he knew the distance and he could easily catch it. I'll say you do a tuck and tumble and you're able to catch it, and where you had kind of lost the audience before, you gained them back with this feat of acrobatics, and you're juggling. Is there anything special or unique that you do in your juggle that kind of makes this performance stand out?
do a flip.
So other than thinking of no, I'm gonna say other than
Sorry.
using his tail in that, shit.
His tail, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was just like thinking, I was like, oh my god, his tail would be funny.
Oh, I like that.
You should totally catch on with his tail.
Yeah.
At the end, 2 hands and 1 tail finishing move. That'd be cute. Sorry.
It'd be great. Love the end though. I was like, ooh, maybe set them on fire. I was like, no, with what hand? Maybe he can just like start spinning and hopping on one leg or one hoof.
I like that.
Cute.
You're getting the sense, you've probably been doing this for a couple minutes. Is there any sort of like finale, like any other objects that you would throw into this check, into this little performance before maybe it's wrapped up?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. With that, I would say go ahead and give me a performance check, please.
Oh, before you do that, can Vaughn give him bardic inspiration for this?
Yes.
Is that something I can do?
Yes.
Okay, so Vaughn just kind of like does his like little eye squinting thing at him,
Mm-hmm.
and then like does like the hand motion of like, go on, keep going.
And how much will I roll with the inspiration?
Oh,
Yes.
that I forget how that works.
So it's a D6.
Yeah, the D6 on top of that.
There we go. Jesus. Sorry for the spam. I
So
was trying to-
16.
16. Amazing. Okay, so between doing all the different, it's not so much like you're juggling pins. You're showing different ways in athleticism that you're able to juggle these pins through your legs, over your tail, you do a bunch of different circles. You go into the crowd, you go up and down the rows of the crowd, and they start kind of following you around and getting really excited to the point where there is very much an orchestra that is part of this whole big top experience, and they actually follow your performance along to the point where they pick up on like a crescendo in which you're throwing the pins higher and higher and higher and higher, and your tail is a part of it before eventually you catch them all, and the last one goes all the way up and over the tight wire and gets caught by your tail. You do a quick spin and you bow.
Ta-da!
And there's just kind of this like pause before the crowd erupts with shouting and hollering, and Mr. Light comes back onto the stage and goes, well, I'm delightfully pleased with that very much. I was a little worried you had kind of, a rocky start there, but you are quite skilled, Mr. Victor Mossgrove. Thank you for sharing your talent with us.
It's my pleasure.
And he's smiling with his eyes this time, whereas before he wasn't necessarily smiling with his eyes. And
Ooh, I hate those looks.
I know, right? He's really good at that. And between Halder and between Victor, there will be a raise in the mood, but Mr. Light kind of turns to the rest of the crowd. Well, we're kind of in this point of the show. Is there anybody else that wants to show their talent with the group?
I mean, we do have a bard.
We do have a bot, though.
Yvonne's just kind of like looking around like, anybody gonna step up? Hello?
I point at you.
No one
Oh,
else seems
and,
to be stepping up.
And before that, Victor, it's quite a display you put on, but I did want to mention that your fly is down.
Not this.
Watch it, old man.
Wait, I just realized something. This might be a risk to have Vaughn go on stage.
I mean,
Uh,
Hey, if y'all really
Etika
wanted
doesn't know
to.
this. Etika doesn't know this, but he was kicked out of the carnival.
you're right.
Oh yeah. But
Absolutely.
if he
And we
gives
resolved-
if he gives a very good performance though, like
He got a ticket back. He actually has a ticket.
Yeah, he got the ticket fixed, but won't those people, if those people are there, won't they remember him? Or do you think they deal with enough of that they don't really care?
oh yeah.
I guess you'll
were
find
they
out.
goblins? What were they?
It's
They
a
were
gamble,
goblins.
isn't it?
It's a gamble. Mm-hmm. They were goblins.
I mean, but imagine we get to make the mood go up again. That'd be really good. Like if you did a really good performance, which you're really strong in. Right?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Both.
God, I hope you are.
If you're
Bard.
not going to go up there, I am.
And at that, Vaughn just kind of like hands over the vat of popcorn he had previously been absolutely devouring
Are you
and goes,
serious?
"Step aside."
He's been devouring. That's so funny.
As he walks off, I want you to know I'm keeping this one.
He just turns around, gives him this weird look like, and that's fine. And then keeps going.
That's fast.
I'm going to turn around and hand it to the nearest kid I see.
The
My
bucket is
popcorn.
bigger than his torso.
Okay.
All right. So you get to the
Ooh,
you get to the
how should I
stage.
do it?
Mr. Light kind of looks you up and down.
Vaughn returns the look.
You're a performer, huh?
One might say so.
I'm getting that vibe from you for sure. Well, welcome to the stage. It does take a little bit of how do you say, courage to even put yourself out there. So, Courage, do you have another name?
Vaughn Hemlock, at your service. And he does like this weird like bow, like a pianist bowing before his performance.
Hmm.
That's an attack towards tieflings.
He kind of gives you a nod. All right, everyone, meet Von Hemlock. Hemlock, what will you be performing this night?
How shall I do it? How do I do this? Oh God.
I
Like
want to do this.
I don't know how I want to do it. Can I
I
like?
mean,
Okay.
is he a story bard or a music bard?
He's definitely a music bard, but I kind of want to pull into like the performance of it as well. Is it possible, since like being a hexblood and having like that magical aspect of things, like can I like summon all three of my like
Yes.
instruments and like have them kind of like floating around me playing music?
Yeah, this is anything is in your
Period.
repertoire. Anything that you want to use in your magic, your illusions that you want to use in like your story, like 100%. I think the issue with I'm trying to think, just keep in mind they're illusions. So
Right.
like if you have, I think it's
Even if I have like I know I have, I think it's the flute in my inventory.
Mhm.
So like even if I have that, and even though like my 3 proficiencies are the viol, the drum, and the flute, I can only do the one that I have physically.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's the only sound that erupts because illusions don't,
Right.
unless it's a stronger spell. They only provide the visual, not the actual sound, which is why in some cases people will do like minor illusion and somebody does like prestidigitation to provide the sounds for the illusion.
I can help. I can do prestidigitation.
That would be so cool.
You don't have any way to tell me that you need help, though, huh?
True.
You don't have
Wait,
message or anything,
no.
do you?
I do. I can give you like a telepathic message.
Okay,
But I have
perfect.
to like point
Yeah,
at
if
you.
you.
I have to be like creepy and like point at you. So like,
Oh.
am I able to see you? Is my thing.
In my mind, she's like
her with
to the
Michael Jackson.
side of where people are performing,
Mhm.
kind of obscured by a curtain, but her face is peeking out, so she can see you, and you can
Ooh.
probably see her if you
Ooh.
knew that she was backstage, which you would.
Okay, I'm reading up on the message thingy, and it says that I can cast it through solid objects if I'm familiar with the target and
Yep.
know that it is beyond a barrier.
Correct.
So,
We got pretty intimate
Nailed
in that
it.
tent.
true.
That's
I mean,
exactly
you did
it.
put me in drag.
The way
Okay, cool. So then,
Yep.
so I'm thinking, Vaughn like walks out into like the middle of like the performing stage. He says, "Lights, if you please," to like dim the lights and like make it like super dark and kind of moody.
ooh,
And then he sends this telepathic message to Madame Zelina about like helping out in the performance a little bit and like just kind of going with it, because she'll obviously see it here in a second.
mhm.
So I'm thinking he has the physical flute. He starts playing like this somber kind of mysterious song. I'm imagining the like pan flute melody that like the satyr plays in like the first Narnia movie.
Ooh.
Like that's kind of what I'm thinking in my head. That's kind of what like the inspiration is for this.
Mhm.
So he does that, and then like I'm gonna use in my mind I'm envisioning like the instruments start playing, and then like red fireflies just kind of start appearing around, but I don't know if that would be considered a minor illusion.
I mean, yes. So so for your spells, so how you're summoning like the instruments behind you, what are you using? What's the spell?
That would have to be under minor illusion, I think. Unless you think I can use Unseen Servant, but I think I'm only able to have one at a time.
So this is where I'm clarifying. So you can have what's called a concentration spell up, and you basically part of your brain is always thinking about the spell,
Right.
to have it active, and then you can cast a secondary spell like minor illusion. But minor
Okay.
illusion is kind of like a one and done because it's not. Let me look at the.
Neither are concentration, which is surprising, honestly.
Unseen Servant is, yeah, it's one and they're there, but like a good example of a concentration type spell for clerics is Moonbeam or even druids, where it literally summons, or the Witch's Light, like it literally summons something there and you can move it around, and you can move it from thing to thing, and that allows you to do other stuff. The only time that a concentration spell gets dropped is like if you
lose concentration.
If you lose concentration, you get hit, you lose it. If you summon, or if you cast a second concentration spell, that next concentration spell takes over whatever the original one was. Which is why when you guys were picking your spells, I was like, make sure you don't stack all of your spells to be all concentration, because that would suck.
Yeah.
What instruments do you have?
I have the flute, drums, and the viol.
Okay, so what if you cast Unseen Servant, have him play the viol, use your minor illusion
To summon the
To-
drums.
summon the drum, and like have it float, and I can prestidigitation faint music notes, so I think that would work for the percussion part better than anything else. Because the other two would
Agreed.
be like the melody.
I like that.
Yeah. My only thing is that I'm really focused on the effects of it, and if I do minor illusion and Unseen Servant, I would have to have the illusion of the drum or sorry, yeah, the illusion of the viol and the drum at the same time.
Oh, you only have one instrument on you?
Yeah, I only have the flute, and he's physically playing that himself. At least I think I
Oh.
do. I'm supposed to start with one as a bard, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not
Okay.
like physically seeing it in my thing, but that's okay.
I took a disguise kit instead of an instrument, so I don't have one.
Okay. Fun fact. Minor illusion is an action and it lasts for a minute. So it's not a concentration spell. So if you wanted to blow all of your spells and every 6 seconds cast minor illusion, it kind of reminds me of, what are those boards where people do repeaters on themselves? Like they
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
That's what I'm so
Oh?
it's like you could
Oh? know
minor
what that is.
illusion well, if you go on like if you minor illusion like a drum and have it go for 6 seconds and have a beat,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah.
minor you cast a spell again to get a flute going, it would go for a minute and they would be going after each other and then
Oh, so
go
kind of going like back and forth and like a cutesy little kind of thing.
round.
Okay, yeah.
But then you
Yeah.
only have a minute, but like this is where you as a player get to decide. I'm pretty sure minor illusion is like a first level spell.
It is.
So you only have however many times you can cast that. And then you would have to take a
Minor
long...
Which is
Minor illusion should be a
what?
cantrip.
Oh, it is a
Yeah,
cantrip!
it is.
You could do
It
it,
is a
unlimited! You could do it unlimited! That's so cool.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I could
sorry.
just keep doing that and doing like
Yes.
different illusions
Yes.
every minute,
Um,
essentially.
Oh my god, hold on. You can create a sound or an image. So it is or. So like if you want...
It is or,
yeah.
but like my thinking is do the illusion of the drum. Because it would be weird to have like the sound of the drum
Mm-hmm.
and not have the drum, you know?
Mm-hmm. And from the description, the range that it can be is like it can be
It's like
sound wise
30 feet?
Yeah, well, sorry, the range. I meant the volume can be from a whisper to a scream. So it's not like you're gonna
Yeah.
blow out the tent. And then the object that you visually have appear can be no longer larger than a 5-foot cube.
Yeah. Which none of that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So then, is what I'm thinking like possible then?
I think so.
Like, just have like the images of like the different instruments going in and out, like
Mm-hmm.
Madame Zelina doing like the sound effects behind the scenes.
Yep.
And then like I'm
And
really
mine's a
imagining.
cantrip too, so technically
Oh,
I
so you can do it unlimited.
go back and forth if I need to.
Exactly. Yep.
Ooh. Okay.
And you're
Okay.
you're a bard, and you know you do have inspiration, and inspiration can work. You can cast inspiration on yourself. So for the effect of this, if you wanted to cast inspiration on yourself, you could.
Am I able to, even though I used it on Victor for his performance?
Correct, because you
Oh,
have
okay,
How
so I-
many
inspiration
do you get?
on your character sheet. Let's see, it goes by level.
I have 3, but I didn't take it down. Like I didn't take it down.
So you're
for
down
the...
to 2, and you used bardic inspiration last session. So this
Did
would be
I? Oh yeah, I did.
yeah.
So I only have the 1.
Correct. So this would be your, if you wanted to use it, you could use it, and then you would have to have a long rest in order to gain it back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's up to you.
I'm gonna pass on the bardic inspiration for this time because I have pretty high performance.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Where Vaughn's just kind of like in the center. It's kind of dark and moody, and like all these instruments start appearing,
Mm-hmm.
and this like somber just kind of song starts playing in the background, and then as the song progresses, these like red fireflies just kind of appear out of nowhere, kind of enveloping the crowd a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, I love that this is working so well, because like every minute a new firefly can disappear from one place, reappear in another place,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives that effect. Okay, cool. And then all of this is going on, and it's kind of just like setting like a really like dark kind of whimsical mood. And as the song kind of goes on, it picks up a little bit in tempo, kind of making it like a jovial kind of dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also going to use Unseen Servant. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Ending, folding, close, lighting fires. Okay. I'm gonna have the unseen servant appear,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, since you can't really see it. And start lighting the fires around the performing ring.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of, or by the climax of the song, the fireflies are going around the entire crowd. All the fires are lit around him, so now he's got like this bright light. And then he finally just, as the song begins to wane, the fireflies disappear. The music kind of slows down a little bit, and then he's just left in the center again, holding his flute, playing the final notes of the song.
I fucking love this. Okay. So, because A, it's fucking amazing. B, Zelina's helping you out. C, it's fucking amazing. Go ahead. Give me a performance check with advantage, please.
Performance with advantage. How do I turn on advantage again? I just hit the thing at the top, yeah?
Correct. You just have to make sure the
Okay.
advantage toggle is selected.
Yep. Okay, cool. Ta-dam!
Holy shit. Let's fucking go. Natural 20 for a total of
Deserved.
23. Okay, so even though you just gave me that wonderful description, knowing now that it is like one of the best performances you've given in your life, is there any extra pizzazz that you want to add that would just make it even just chef's kiss better? Something special.
Ooh.
That maybe all of this magic that's happening around you, like that magical essence, what happens like all in one area? What is special about that?
Okay. I really hope I can do this. So I'm kind of going to go back into like the performance itself. So like at the end, after he's played those last few notes, I'm going to say the unseen servant vanquishes all the fires, and once again the tent is left in this darkness, but his eyes are left glowing.
Oh, and you want to know what's even creepier about that too? Because so like it's like the spotlight is out, there's just the eyes, and those of you with like a perception of, I would say, 14 or higher, Mr. Light's grin that has never gone away, it's like the fucking Cheshire cat, is just like as equally kind of like glowing in the darkness if you look off.
So it's kind of like they're facing against each other. Oh my god, I love this so much.
I noticed nothing.
Oh yeah, because you're behind the curtain.
No, because I have a 12 perception.
Oh.
Screamy good. That's so unfortunate.
And I think with that, we will go ahead and take our first break.
Thank God. That was a lot of brain power. Oh my
So,
god.
you fucking did it. Wonderful. We're going to come back in, let's do at the 30. Is that fair for everyone?
So 11:30.
12
Yes.
minutes? Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go get your drinks. We will be back soon.
Okay.
Okay.
That was fun.
I'm a BRB, but I want to chat with you guys when I get back.
I am also
I'm so
going to
excited.
BRB real quick. I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Not the claps. Yeah. The cheer, I swear. How goes it?
Very good.
You know, my other option was to push Ethica into the ring.
I offered. I just wanted to go not first.
Yeah, and I was going to offer to throw you in first.
You can do that now. You can quite literally
No.
push me over the stands if you want.
No, you can do it yourself. You can walk
Nah.
over on your own.
I think it'd be funny. I mean, you do what you want now. I want you to know that the second I step into that ring, I am doing some trickery. I'm going to make fun of this man.
You wow.
Only good fun. Only good fun.
That's still wild. Also, I moved to my bed for like a second because I'm just like, lay down for a moment. For like the good spine action, just to lay down. This music is pretty nice.
Yes. Nice dancing music. You could do a jig.
Yeah.
I think it's in threes. Yeah. You can dance a jig to this.
Wow, 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 wow,
Wah, 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 wah.
wow, 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 wow.
Wah, 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 wah.
Wow, 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 wow. No. I swear.
Caw.
Caca.
Good call.
Crow noises. Caca.
I know.
I swear.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Whoa.
I don't know that I like that laugh.
Neither do I. Okay, everyone, keep your counter magic spells on. Okay.
You would dare counterspell me? We don't even have access to that level of spells yet.
No. I'll figure it out. I'll manifest it out of my palms.
Damn, that's crazy.
I just think of countering so bad that my magic level just increases, you know?
Sure.
Oh,
see
what are
how
we
it works.
countering?
They don't like my evil
I
laugh.
don't even know yet. But I'll
Not
just
the evil
overhear
laugh.
evil laughing.
Period.
You know
Just
what's
preparing
the funny part
ourselves.
is, though? Neither of the things I'll be doing are spells.
That's even worse.
That does raise a few concerns.
That's even more concerns.
Just a few, you know.
Only a few?
Mhm.
It's a very
Your
huge amount
counters
of
look like
concerns.
just picking you up.
We throw hammer at his head.
Not the hammer.
Aim for non-serious part.
Mr. Light over here is kind of scaring me, not gonna lie.
Okay.
He's just a
Mr.
creature.
Light.
Just a creature. It's fine.
More like a creep, but it's okay. It's Mr. Light.
Shatterkai. He's fine. I think he's Shatterkai. I don't remember.
He's a potato.
It's not
My
a potato.
potato.
Gosh darn dark elves. Sort of. Shatterkai are weird.
Is that what he is?
So, yeah, he's a Shatterkai. So, you know, Drow?
Mhm.
Like gray skin, white hair. Shatterkai are elves
Hello.
that. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Shatterkai are elves that were bound to the Shadowfell,
Oh, okay.
as opposed to the Feywilds. which were the
Okay.
Sylvan and Eladrin. Or
Wild.
basically the dark version of Eladrin, which are super special Feywild elves. It's complicated. You'll learn more about it, I'm sure.
Okay, okay. Welcome back,
That was a
Pastel.
good performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you missed it, Pastel. I'm going to do it. I did an evil laugh because I know exactly what I'm about to do.
Oh, no.
I'm
Well,
going to make
if
Suddenly,
you
I'm
start
scared.
to fail, Zelina will help you because she cannot stand any creature to suffer. That's why she was helping everybody.
Oh,
He's in
Just such a
everyone's
helpful soul.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Who's the best
I'm just
stage
using
mom?
my passives. I'm just using my passives. I'll be fine.
will you now?
Oh, I thought you might be getting up on the stage.
Oh, I am. I'm just doing a little bit of
of course,
shenaniganery.
he can't let Vaughn live in his bliss.
Of course I can. I'm not doing anything as special as that. Just want to get close.
Yet.
Yet.
Just wait until Vaughn is able to start talking to spirits, okay? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
mean, you can't already.
No?
We're level 1, bestie.
I'm a cleric.
I'm a
Funny.
cleric.
Okay, Bard. Yeah, go out and tell the tale of my ass. You got it.
Don't tempt me with that one.
Not like that.
I'll spin it so fast.
No,
No,
I
that's
hate
starting rumors. That's not telling tales, that's rumors.
What's the
Gossip
difference?
Girl
Like
is D&D, y'all.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
it. What are you going to do? Ruin my reputation? It's
You
already-
mean that hasn't happened already?
I beat you too.
Sorry, that was a little shady. I'm very sorry.
Shady? Yeah.
Shady? Atika?
It's going straight
Never.
into the book.
How are we still on hour 4? I feel like we've done nothing.
That's good. We don't want to rush through it.
You've had, like,
No,
3
absolutely. You're so right.
performances.
I just feel like we've done so much, and it's still hour 4. All within 1
something-
hour.
Something, time moves slower, something, plane, something.
It's just so funny to think about. Like, I feel like we've done so much in just 1 hour.
Welcome to the feeling of D&D. Well, also, like, walking across the carnival actually takes time. So,
We
True,
killed
true.
we marched an entire army to defeat a lich atop his tower, destroyed his entire plane of existence, all in the course of 1 afternoon.
all it is,
Good
we're
afternoon.
I love it.
Oh, when a turn is 10 seconds. Oh, I totally realized my prestidigitation is for an hour, so I could have made that music as long as I wanted.
So is my... What is it? It's my
Unseen
Unseen
Servant.
Servant is also an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I know, right? Like, the Minor Illusion, 1 minute. A whole ass servant that can do whatever I need, hour.
Ha,
I mean, but
it
he
is
can
an hour.
only take simple commands.
True.
He's not too OP. And it can
Can't,
only stay
like-
within 60 feet, so you can't,
You
like...
can't pilot an airship.
That's
right?
fair. That's fair.
It's not Bigby's hand.
You
or
right, you
anything like that.
And it doesn't have huge speed either. I think it's pretty balanced.
Well, they're also
Um,
not the best in health.
What happens if you upcast unseen? Oh, nothing. Okay.
It doesn't. It just, yeah. It's not like it gets extra health or
Nothing.
anything like that.
I was curious
Um,
because of Warlock.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
There
that
are
would be
some
so
spells.
spicy.
There are some spells that takes effect, but like certain things are just like always just casting at a certain level, or
Yep.
you're just using the spell slot to use the spell slot.
Mm.
All right, is everyone back?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's my turn to
Awesome.
do some shenanigans.
All right. So, once that performance has subsided, the lights slowly come back on, and then the spotlight is once more on Mr. Light. He turns to the crowd and he goes, "Well, my goodness, I think I might have some recruiting to do. Thank you very much for that very enlightening performance." Now,
Mm.
Vaughn gives him like that pianist bow again, and then gracefully glides back over to his seat.
Etiquette judges your bow.
we have one more slot open. If anyone
Sorry.
within the audience would like to partake in showing us their talent before we move on with the show. Any
I'll stand.
takers? Oh. And so we
Vaughn rolls his
end
eyes.
with the beginning.
As do all things.
Well, the stage is yours.
I start walking down. What is the grounds made of?
I would say the actual ground is dirt.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't have anything like covering the actual dirt, but it's not like grass.
Okay. I will activate my Fey Lost ability.
Okay.
As I start walking through the grounds, you all see little daisies and small wildflowers disappear with every step. And as I keep walking on behind me, the trail starts to spread to the sides. And what was once just brown dirt has been filled with grasses and colors. And I'll walk all the way up to Mr. Light and extend a hand to shake.
Intriguing. He extends his hand and shakes it in return.
A pleasure to see you once again, Mr. Light. Shall we wow them? As his hand is grasping mine, I'm going to slowly change my form to mimic him exactly.
Oh, that's such a mystique moment. I fucking love it.
I love it.
Oh,
Actually, I'll do this one better.
Mhm.
Oh god.
My skin that shines in the moonlight, because I love doing it this way. The skin that shines in the moonlight suddenly breaks apart into scales, and they slowly flip one by one, going up my hands and then onto my neck and my face, going from this pale white to a Shatterkai skin tone. A little bit of a really grayish tan.
His grin gets a little bit more sinister, but intrigued.
I'll match his grin.
He tilts his head.
I'll tilt it the same way.
The cheek. The cheek.
Lena's losing her mind backstage, never seeing this creepy shit with her boss who she doesn't really like. It's amazing.
He lets go of your hand and he starts to like circle around you, just kind of sizing you up.
I'll kind of like pop my hand on my hip, just flamboyantly.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of start just tapping my fingers on my other leg.
Mm-hmm.
And just rolling my eyes, grinning as he walks around me. Pardon me if I'm a little out of practice, but I think this isn't so bad.
No, not bad. Not bad indeed. I find it very flattering. Do you have other talents that you wish to show the rest of the class?
I'll flick my my right leg up and kind of just smack myself on the butt. Even got the birthmark right.
He narrows his eyes.
I'll turn to the crowd and just grin at them.
The crowd, I would say, overall is pretty confused but intrigued by what's going on. They're still trying to figure out like what the shtick is, if that makes sense.
I can do you one better. I'll kind of just raise my hand, like, give me a moment. I'll take a step back. I'll rip my vest open and switch into Mr. Witch's form. And I'll start flexing shirtless in front of him.
Okay. So okay. Let me get this handout for a second so y'all can actually see what these guys look like.
Oh no.
Hold please. There should be
Oops.
Okay. So first off, this is what Mr. Light looks like. And then
Cute.
My good man.
second off, here's what Mr. Witch looks like, which is what makes this whole thing even hilarious.
Oh.
I'll remind you, I took my coat off, and I'm just flexing shirtless.
Exactly. There's a little bit of like confusion amongst the crowd, but they're more like into the illusion. But the carnies, like Zelina and Halder, there's probably like tense, like they don't know where this is going. I don't know, like so the way that it's worded is like Zelina and Halder, you guys haven't actually gotten a full blown like one-on-one with them. You've basically gone through middle management. They're like the CEO. So like you've been trying to get to them and you haven't yet been extended an invitation to have a meeting. They only take a meeting with those that they have time for. Otherwise their entire focus is just on like the top level, high level of running the carnival. So it is very similar to like, this is a real life caricature in the face of everyone of somebody who is very much in control of your fate. And Mr. Light is still smiling, but his eyes are not smiling anymore.
Oh, come on. What's that big old smile on your face?
You know, there's everyone that has a little bit of, how do you say, artistic freedom in the choices they make. That's definitely not one I would take. Especially if you knew Mr. Witch.
I'll switch out of my original form, and I am no longer smiling. I do. And I'll start rebuttoning my cloak.
Mr. Light kind of like looks towards the audience. Everyone's kind of confused and whispering to each other. You're very much losing the presence of the crowd and looks back towards you.
Now, I will perform, Mr. Light. But you have to promise me an audience with Mr. Witch. And I'll start walking away.
Off the stage? Or just away from him?
Just away from him.
Okay.
Taking a bit of more of a center stage thing.
He was already kind of off to the side a little bit. He just kind of nods and lets things play out.
I'll reshape my cane into a flute. And I'll kind of... You let me know that you were behind the stage, right, Pastel?
Yes.
You'll see me kind of bring a flute up to my lips. And I'll kind of raise one eye to you. With kind of a
She would-
just just a look that says, "Do what you will. Make this interesting for me."
Selena's gonna roll her eyes and really think about her choices and the fact that if he hadn't brought her fucking bosses into this, she wouldn't feel so compelled to help, but she doesn't want the carnival mood to go down and she doesn't want her bosses to like make a big deal about this. So with prestidigitation, are you actually gonna play the flute?
Yes.
Okay. With prestidigitation, she will make some flower petals start cascading down from the top of the tent that mimic the flowers that he grew underneath him to go along with his music.
Exactly what I wanted. Wonderful. And I'll start playing a very slow waltz. And as I do, you'll see the flowers underneath start to grow into where they were originally maybe flowers that we would see in perhaps our human lives. And they'll grow into much more fey-like, having thorns and great grandiose flowers that grow up to maybe past the knee in size. And I'll just go around shaping the entire insides of the tent to be almost like a grove or a grotto. In effect, I'm basically painting along the ground.
The spotlight on you seems to soften, so it doesn't seem to be as harsh of a light to kind of follow you around, and it takes on more of a daylight kind of ray on you to match the nature that is slowly growing.
With all these big flowers, Selena would do a sec. She can have up to 3 prestidigitations at a time going. So she would also prestidigitation a small gust of wind, which is one of the things you can do to kind of make the flower smell fill the tent a little bit more and get to the audience so they can feel immersed.
As I continue moving around the grotto, I'll start switching all of the flowers. They'll start to wilt and then regrow into a different form, larger than the last, putting it through the cycle of death and rebirth over and over again, until the flowers reach well above the height of Etika. And then suddenly, I'll look directly at Mr. Light, and with a cord, all of the flowers will go silver in color. And the song will end.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a performance check, please.
I shall.
Sorry, I just read Von Henlock's comment on chat.
It's a 9. Well.
It's quiet when you end your song. People seem more mesmerized by the foliage than the words and the tunes. And it seems the pre-performance leading up to the song had a stronger effect and not one that maybe you would hope for, or the one that you didn't really care for. And slow claps start to resound as you hold the gaze of Mr. Light.
I am not smiling. I'm just looking at him earnestly and sternly.
He keeps your gaze for a beat before he goes, "Well, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence, but the show must go on. Please do take your seat, as we have plenty of other performance that we do need to get through. Everyone, please." Apologies, sir, I don't think I caught your name.
Sir Etika, agent of the Archfey. I'll see you in a few hours.
Mr. Light doesn't even nod. He just waits for you to leave the stage.
At once, all of the flowers around him basically shatter and collapse into the ground, returning to dirt.
And there's half a beat where Etika exits the stage. The lights seem to dim before going black. And then once more, the house lights are brought up, and Mr. Light is in the center of the stage. And this time, he is surrounded by fairy dragons with bright streamers tied to their tails. As all of a sudden, up in the air, there are synchronized flying troupe of acrobats, clowns, fire breathers parading about. The finale has now arrived for the Big Top event. Over the next 10 minutes, you have mimes that are going and weaving their way throughout the audience and playing different games. You have fire breathers that are getting awfully close, but not too close to the audience as they up and up and up their acts. You can get that sense of sulfur in the air. You have acrobats in the background. Everything is coming to a very clear crescendo, and I'm going to show you a picture of the Big Top. That is a lovely little handout to kind of show you. Let's see, where did it go? Where's that handout? Ah, there it is. Ta-da.
Ooh.
Wow.
All
The
sorts.
tiefling fire breather.
All sorts
Spicy.
of different colors before eventually everyone, including all the different carnies that came out to help with the various parts of the show, are in front, and they begin to give their bows as the end of the Big Top event has finally arrived. Mr. Light is in the front. Thank you everyone for coming out. Very much a pleasure. But please do know that this is only the midway show. You have the rest of the evening to go about and partake in various different events. And do not forget, when dawn arrives, we will have the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch. Please, be on your best behavior. Be kind to fellow patrons. And first and foremost, have fun out there. We'll see you at dawn. And he kind of fades into the rest of the carnies before he disappears. And there's kind of exit music playing. Throughout that extravaganza, through all your group's various events, the mood of the carnival has risen. Twice.
Yes.
Let's go.
Smiley face.
I told you we were going to prioritize that tonight, and I'm so glad we did.
Everything seems to be glowing even brighter. There are birds that are fluttering about as if it were daytime. There's fireflies that are out. Everyone seems to be in joyous moods. Even the goblins, who always seem to have a sour expression, are somewhat smiling. Kids are laughing, although they should probably be in bed. But everyone is filtering out the Big Top as your group is left among the stands.
Vaughn just kind of stands and kind of stretches a little bit. Well,
I'm
that
gonna
was
guess
something.
that Halder's probably been in an ice bath since this show, so I'll probably grab him and take him with me to meet the others.
Oh,
I think I'd want Victor to just check if there's no popcorn or candy stuck onto the bottom part of his fur on his legs.
All right. Do you guys just kind of convene in the Big Top, or do you exit the Big Top and convene outside?
I kind of feel like we should get out.
It would make more sense to be oh, we gotta leave so they can clean.
Yeah,
All
But I think
right.
we should stay at least close to the front waiting for,
for our friend.
if Madame Zelina and Halder would come out.
All right. Within the next 10-15 minutes, I have to move the tracker up as it has definitely been an hour.
Yeah.
One step closer to the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch. Your group convenes out front. You see dragonflies or rides are already going about, whizzing about above you. There is a little bit more heavy of a presence of people, as it seems like there's like a later crowd. Maybe they've come back after the kids have gone to bed. But it is very infectious, this mood of the carnival currently right now. And your group has
You
a
can
little bit of
definitely
downtime.
tell. Ooh,
No, you're good. You're good.
sorry. I was just gonna say, like Vaughn's like overall, like the way he's holding himself now, it's like you can tell he's like genuinely enjoying himself, and somehow just by looking at him, I think the like people around him can really tell that like this isn't normal for him, and it's kind of like a rare occurrence that this happens.
Well, you seem jovial.
Well, of course, that show was quite spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Attica's not really smiling, but he just says, "Quite," and turns away.
Vaughn
I'm
kind of gives that like Cheshire Cat grin and kind of rolls his eyes.
You see Attica's face just shift into yours, and he'll roll his eyes the same way, and then shift back.
He just rolls his eyes again. And
Everybody
oh,
gets one.
okay. I do have a question, Shaney, if you'll allow me. Can I like can I like accidentally use message and like in my mind just kind of say show off towards Etika?
Oh yeah, how does message work, by the way? Can you put it in chat?
So like the description says, oh yeah, that's so much easier. Hello. But like it can't go through like a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or like 3 feet of wood.
Is it send and nope? It's just send. Okay.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
just
reply.
Oh, I'm muted.
Oh,
I
you can
somehow
reply.
muted my. I was like, I'm
Oh,
talking. I
hello.
don't. Hi, sorry about that.
You're good.
So it's a
I
verbal.
get sending and messages confused all the time.
Yeah. So message the cantrip is a short range walkie-talkie. The walkie-talkie itself is a piece of copper that you keep in a copper wire, right? So how it works is you can literally
it's like actually audible.
yes. So you
I
can't.
thought it was in his
It is not.
mind.
It is not telepathy. So you have to say it out loud. You can whisper it,
Oh,
but you can.
I was thinking of
Mm-mm.
the eerie token. Just kidding.
Now,
I still want to do it, but like,
the way.
but, like,
Okay.
wait,
Yeah. So
that makes no sense. Either I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna like mumble it under my breath or something.
yeah. Which you totally can do that, by the way. You can totally. And the way it works is if you've I don't know if you guys have watched Pastel, I forget. Were you watching season 1 or season 2 of Critical Role?
I not actually finish any Critical Role.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of a Dimension 20 girl.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, same.
So you basically can send a message to a person and they can respond back in 20 words or less, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's not like a back and forth conversation.
It's kind
And
of like a one-off kind of thing.
correct. Now I'm just going to say this to put a plant in your guys' ears. A very common and it's not something you guys have to decide now, but this is like a future thing if we get there. But a very common magic item within D&D are what's called sending stones, where the stones themselves are actual walkie-talkies. They're imbued with the magic and like they come in pairs.
Cute.
And the way that I tell my players is they have a choice. They can either have it to where you can actually use it like as the rules are written, where it's like you have to be within a certain range of 120 feet and you can either go back and forth, or we have like an even shorter range, but you can just like it's an actual walkie-talkie. And the way that I work it is like, you know, you have to have 2 for it to work. And so if the entire party gets the equivalent of all sending stones, so you can all basically talk to each other, just makes it way easier.
I'm biased
Permitter.
because I do like the 20-word thing. It's a fun thing to work around.
Yeah, so like every time you send a message, it has to be 20 words or less. So that's my kind of caveat. It's like you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You can choose whichever, and it's always the party's decision. So just think of that for the future. But yeah, for this little instance, yeah, you can say it under your breath, but you're always verbally saying it out loud.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at first. I thought it was kind of like a mental thing.
Nope.
But
you're
no,
good.
that's perfectly fine. I'll still mumble show off under my breath.
All right. And
Erika just kind of smirks at you,
mm-hmm.
and then it fades.
I think I heard Zelina at the beginning of that exchange try and say something. Zelina, were you trying to do something?
Yeah, I was gonna say she's gonna try and break up the tension and ask everybody what their favorite part of the show was, hoping that somebody says Halder's part because she's really proud of him. But, she's not gonna push. So, oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed the show. What was your favorite part?
I'm gonna have to say the merfolk singer in the very beginning. I did quite enjoy her shtick.
Hear a siren once, hear them 1,000 times. I quite liked. Oh, I can't possibly decide.
There's so many magical things to see here.
I'm stuck between either the ending with all the fire or Halder's act, if you will.
You all did very well. I was so surprised you all came out and performed like that. Is this normal for you? You performers in your lives?
No,
Mm,
not at all.
I dabble a little bit here and there.
Your confidence is amazing and very impressive. I do a small show. I do it in my tent. It's very private. It's not my deal,
Divination, if I'm not mistaken. I heard you earlier.
I do tell fortunes, yes.
Any truth of it?
Erika kind of smiles. Interesting.
Truth can mean many things, Mr. Hemlock. What's true for you may not be true for someone else, but I help people find their truth.
He just kind of nods slightly.
It is at this point, coming around the corner from the staff area, you do see a tall-looking tabaxi wearing a turban, kind of adjusting it under her ears, and Antares kind of just actually walking by her side as Madame Kaida makes her way over, kind of looking around, and sees you, Zelina, and walks up. And she kind of puts her hands politely intertwined in each other and kind of at a resting position, as she has a very that like very mysterious, almost regal look about her, a very like intriguing presence as she kind of saunters up to your group, looks at you and looks at the rest of your group. Yes, Zelina, Madame Zelina. It is, as usual, after the big top, it is usually your shift to work in the tent. I wanted to check in with you on that work tonight. Are you still going to do your shift? I was gonna go maybe take a nap for the rest of the evening.
She definitely doesn't want to do this because she'll have to leave the party.
Oof.
What would she say? She's already pulled some fuck shit, and Selena's probably not super happy about that. Kaida's probably not super happy about that. What do you guys think I should do?
How long for
Well,
a shift?
I am.
That is my question first.
Do you want me to cast Charm Person on her and convince her to do the shift instead?
She'll
What?
know. She
Yeah,
will still know
I-
you charmed.
I don't think we should try to go to magic just yet.
Okay.
Well, I, at the
Um,
very
Possibly a
least,
It's
am
an it's an
certainly-
option, just saying, putting it out there.
I am certainly intrigued by the prospects of a diviner amongst our group.
Uh, I kind of-
just have to get the choice.
I kind of want to try and tell fortunes for the party, but I don't want to be stuck there all night.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she would say, "Oh, Madam Kaida, may I introduce you to my very good friends here? This is Etika.
Mhm.
Sir
Can I interject real
Etika.
quick?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. So like just kind of stepping back a little bit. When we
Mhm.
saw Madame Kaida coming around that corner, I just want to note that like Vaughn kind of did that thing where like when you see somebody and you don't want them to notice you, you do that like quick like turnaround thing, like and hiding like your face a little bit. Just pointing that out there. Just wanted to put that in there.
Mhm.
Okay. And she introduces them all by name, and of course, Halder. And she kind of adjusts her scarves to kind of cover her face because she is a little sheepish about earlier. And she's gonna continue. Since my very good friends here, it's their first time at the carnival, yeah, and I was hoping that I could possibly do some private readings just for them, and maybe you could take a nap for a little bit while I take care of them, and then you could come back and do a little late shift, perhaps?
Mhm.
I raised an eyebrow at the first time.
I have a question for you, Pastel.
Mhm.
Would you say your her relationship with Madame Kaida is more of like mentoring, or does she see her as like her supervisor direct,
Like a mother figure.
like a mother figure? Okay.
Yeah, she left home at a young age, and Madame Kata took her under her wings, so
Mhm.
she is mentor, but she's also like
Mother.
stern mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mother.
I just want to make sure I get
And
like the
people-
temperament right. Yeah.
She hides her bunny ears at the carnival for the most part, so a lot of people mistake her as being Kaida's child,
Mm-hmm.
because they have very similar fur, even though she has bunny ears, they just can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
So they just assume she's a very small tabaxi.
Mm-hmm. And knowing this and knowing like how maybe like you have been working quite hard, and maybe you, and correct me at any point if I get this wrong, but like Zelina is always been very focused on the carnival, almost to the point where maybe Madame Kaida is like, what is she working on? And so as far as like, you've always been more friends with one, Halder, two, the actual animals of the carnival. So her seeing as a mother figure, her seeing you like actually making friends is like positive to her. So she kind of looks at you, looks at your friends, and goes, I think that is amendable. I don't see why not. I have not worked the late shift in quite a while. You've both put in a lot of hours in. Yes, I think that is fair. Thank you for introducing me to your friends. And she kind of looks over at Vaughn and
He
then
like
smiles.
continues trying to hide himself a little bit more.
Yes.
Do you have a headache, Vaughn?
No.
She technically never saw him, but the guilt is there, I'm sure.
It's
Oh,
1,000. What I'm playing into, it's 1,000 like mom sense guilt. So she's like,
Yeah.
if Vaughn is very like, oh, like she's like, okay, well, I'm glad they're making friends, but this is me. This is her in her head. She's like, well, she's making friends, but that one seems a little okay. We're gonna keep an eye on that one.
I love it.
And she looks back at you after looking at your friends. She goes, all right, well, I'll be back in a couple hours. Then I'm gonna go back to our corner and take a break. But I guess have fun.
Thank you. You're the best mentor, best boss. I
no,
appreciate you.
I mean, yes, keep
I will
going,
clean
keep going.
all the linens this
Oh.
week. All of them.
All-
All of them.
Not all of them.
And Etika just repeats under his
You-
breath, all of them.
You mean that?
Even the ones near the fog machine that get all icky. I clean them all.
Oh.
I promise.
I'm going to hold
So
you
not
to
the
that.
fog machine.
I'm going to hold you to that. All right. Do you
So
want
motive.
Antares to come with me, or do you want Antares to come with you?
Ooh.
Oh, Ant, he does what he wants. If he wants to come to me, he will.
No, all right.
You enjoy his companionship during your break.
I do a lot. We snuggle. It's really fun. It's really nice. He's a big old.
Oh, he's the best boy.
Best boy. And she turns around. She goes, all right, Antares, let's go. And they kind of go back the way they came.
Yay! I got out of work.
Vaughn returns to like his like
I just slowly
Yeah.
turn. I just slowly turn to Vaughn.
Tabaxi are what, 6 feet?
Average, yeah, they're pretty.
Human size.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they're about as tall as Vaughn.
It's only
I
want to
could-
know because it feels like she would be like tall, but only because like that's just the aura she gives.
Oh wait, no.
I mean,
Actually,
6 feet is pretty tall.
she is how tall is Halder? 4 foot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's exactly 6 feet because that's how they get their free funnel cakes.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
Because you're
Really?
exactly at the yep.
Mm-hmm. Same height. No one would ever know. Well, I guess then she will turn to the group and say, "Well, would you like to have your fortunes read? You can come down to my corner. I'll get my little bit of the shift done, and then maybe we can pop over to the feasting orchard and get you some food after."
Very good.
I'm sorry, feasting order? Orchard?
Feasting orchard, like orchard with trees, tree place. You know trees, right?
But with food.
Yes. Feasting, that's when you eat a lot of food. Are you new here?
We have a
No,
lot
I just
of
wanted to make sure I heard you
lessons to teach
correctly.
you.
I think that Selena would say quietly, almost under her breath, in Sylvan, "I think you have some lessons to learn, my friend." Thinking back to what he did
Oh
in
my
the big
god.
top.
Oh my god.
Mm,
And what makes it even
Doth
better is that
not
Vaughn
we
also
all.
speaks Sylvan, so he understood what she said.
Doth not we all, madam?
No, Sylvan, but it has heard Ethica speak it enough that he's just like, oh.
There's a fourth wall
I
break
think
where
she'll
You
just-
would,
oh,
so
snap,
you would
sorry.
know. Anytime I speak Sylvan, I am dead serious.
And sassy motherfucker.
Yeah, she just heard him speak it
sounds
to the Blink
sassy,
Dog
but
earlier,
it's
so
not
she
sassy.
knows that he could
That he
understand. She didn't
knows.
really care who
Mhm.
else did, but she wanted to let him know that that message was just for him. Just like
Vaughn
you
kind of gives
tested
like a
things
shy
in the
grin.
big top, you know?
I like it. All right.
That's kind of fun.
Spicy.
Thou wilt read mine fortune, madam.
Yes, let's go. And we go to the tent.
All right. Selena, you escort all your friends to your corner. Do you want to go ahead and
Oh my
describe?
god, I thought that was a dice roll. I'm screaming.
No, no.
I just saw it go across the screen. I'm like, oh.
Selena, go ahead and describe the front of house for me. Like, what is it? What does the setup look like? What are the colors? What does it look
It's
like?
a decently large tent for what it is. About the front half is where the customers are able to come in. There's just tons of scarves and linens hanging everywhere. The atmosphere is very mysterious. You can smell incense burning. There's a fog machine putting a light layer of fog along the ground. It looks very mystical. And then to the right side, there's some little like vintage antique looking benches that are upholstered that you can sit on, but they're definitely covered in cat fur, completely covered in tabaxi fur. And then off to the left, there's a sectioned off little round area with just a table and a large crystal ball. And, there's some like fairy lights and things and just like little seats so you can have a private spot to have a reading and still have people in the waiting area.
All right, and for the purposes of this scene is yours to navigate, and I'll just help out with rolls. So, however you want to start doing everyone's fortunes.
Can I just like do a quick thing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one of the traits for my background is called Heart of Darkness, and I just want to read that for everybody real quick. So it says, oh, wait, I can put it in the thingy. Just kidding.
Amazing.
Like,
Um,
most read. Ew.
but yeah,
Ah, okay.
and
Cool.
that's kind of what I tried to allude to during the last session when like he came in and like everybody kind of like backed up and like did the thing. But yeah, that
But
exists.
also, unless you've shown yourself to be a danger to them, they will even take up arms to fight alongside you should you find yourself facing an enemy alone. Like, so tracks with the way him and Selena have been so far. Because, like, he gets into trouble and
Exactly.
she has this urge to, like, help him.
But yeah, I just wanted
Cute,
to point,
I like
since we're
that.
doing like fortunes, I figured I'd point that out real quick.
Welcome
continue.
to Kaida's Corner. It's a very simple, humble place, but here we are fortunate enough to speak with spirits and beings beyond this space to divine your futures. Madame Kaida has taught me her ways for a few years now, and I feel that I would be very honored if you would let me read your fortune. We can go in whatever order you like, or you don't have to go at all. Totally up to you. And she'll just like fold her little tiny bunny paws and just wait and see what they say.
Wait, is Halder with us?
Yes.
Okay. I just realized that we hadn't like talked about him in a hot second, and I was like, wait a minute.
He is.
Did he ever come out of the big top?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
that was me
Okay.
saying like the entire group convened. And
Oh, duh! Hello, you did that. You did say that. I'm
you're
so
good.
sorry.
You're good. You're good.
That's my bad. I'm dumb.
You're not dumb.
Sorry.
What order?
Vaughn just kind of like looks around the room, like, okay, who wants to go first?
No need to be shy, no need to be scared. Only good fortunes in Kaida's Corner.
I suppose I am the one who asked.
Vaughn kind of gives him like a gentle shove towards her.
Zelina
Do
would
not
kind
touch
of
me, Phil,
point
sorry.
him over into the corner and gesture at one of the chairs so they can both take a seat.
Near seat or far seat, as I kind of walk over.
Whichever you feel more comfortable in, wherever the spirit moves you. Most people sit on the fireside just because they're a little scared. It's totally up to you.
I'll kind of, as you finish that with just dragging my finger along the table, as you finish that, I stop in the center and just stare at the table for a second. Where do you usually sit? Just on the near side?
She wants you to sit on the far side. Or she wants you to sit she wants you to sit on the near side because that's why she said some people are too scared to sit on the near side. Or yeah, the near side. She wants you to pick the near side. That's why she said the thing about people getting scared to like incense you to pick that seat.
He'll hesitate, but I'll take the seat you requested on the near side.
Perfect. And she'll pull the curtains closed behind him. The lighting is very dim and mystical, and the crystal ball is lit from underneath. But it's not the crystal ball that she uses for her magic. This is like
A gimmick.
the one that her and her boss use. And she'll take her seat. And she'll say, "What kind of fortune would you like to know today? I can read your tarot cards. I can try to divine something from the spirit realm using my crystal ball. What would you be more comfortable with?"
I would like to see the future, madame, if such a thing could be possible. A tarot card reading, perhaps?
Excellent. I'm literally going to pull up a tarot card thing.
Period.
That's actually what I was kind of hoping for. So fuck you.
One sec. Okay, she's going to pull her tarot cards out of her bag. It's got a little pouch with them in there, and start to shuffle them. Now, Etika, while I shuffle these cards, why don't you tell me a little bit about the future you seek to see? Tell me about yourself, what you are wanting answers to.
My question is simple. And I'll kind of lean in closer and gesture you just a whisper in your ear. I wish to see my lady again. And I'll lean back.
Ah, love is such a beautiful thing. I assume you love her, right? She's your lady.
In a sense. But no. She is more of a mistress to me.
Ooh.
Your mistress does not inspire love and
Not
loyalty
Gods.
from you?
Mortals and their way of speaking. I'll speak in Sylvan now. I wish to see my master, the Archfey, once again.
Has she departed from the mortal realm, or is she simply at a distance to you?
Etika opens his mouth to speak, and then shuts it. His eyes dart to the left. I do not know.
Ah, so what you seek is less a certain future that you will see her and more an assurance that you are on the right path to return to her. Is that right?
Again, kind of hesitates. Yes.
This helps me. This helps me to attune to the cards, to make sure they're looking in the right areas for you, so you see. And she will hold the deck out to him. Please, take these cards in your hand and split them into 2 piles, however the spirit moves you.
It is a... He kind of stares at the cards for a good 3 seconds, not moving, just arms in his lap. And then in a single deliberate motion, selects a little bit more than half and puts them aside on the table.
All right, she will take the half that you chose and set the other half aside. And she will spread out 3 cards in front of her. With her little rabbit foot, she's going to kick a button underneath her stool that turns up the fog machine a little bit. To make it a little more mysterious as she turns over the first card.
Are you
Fool.
hiding the fact that there's a button?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is secret button, okay?
Secret button. Got it.
So she's turns over the first card. Secret button. The first card is the Fool. Oh my gosh.
The Fool.
Yes, I know that you see the Fool and you think, oh, this is silly, this is offensive. But really what this card is telling you is that this is the past. We are doing a past, present, future reading, essentially. So each of these cards will represent part of your life. So this is your past. It talks about using every day as a chance to open up new areas in your life, and that anticipation and wonder and awe and curiosity that come with it. This is the time when you met your mistress, when you came into her service, and how excited but unsure you were at the start. You came in as a fool. Now let's go to your present card. For this card, it is the Ace of Pentacles. And you can see the pentacle symbol kind of glows a little bit from the card. This card talks about potential, your potential for growth, success, security, talking about, that the path you are on right now is correct, basically. It's saying that, at this point you may be needing to invest time and energy and resources into achieving your goal of seeing your mistress again. But it does imply that the rewards for this could be very substantial and bring prosperity. The Pentacles are a very prosperous card. So I think this is a very good sign that you're on the right path. You are seeking her, you are making moves to do that. And that if you continue to put in the effort, it's going to go well. Now let us look at your third card. The Two of Wands. This is talking about your future. This is very interesting with the course of the cards we've seen so far. The Two of Wands talks about a duality, that you're kind of stuck in multiple paths and options. I think that for you, you know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there. And what the Two of Wands tells us is that you need to step out of your comfort zone in life. This place where you feel secure, that's not the path for you. I know that it's tempting to want to feel safe and feel like you can make your short-term, wants and wishes happen, but you need to be thinking long-term if you are going to reach the future you want. So I think what the cards are telling you today is that, you came into this relationship with her very naive and not really knowing what you are stepping into. But now that she's gone, your path is clear. You just need to choose to take it. There's so many options out there for you, but there is a right path back to your mistress, and you will find it. And she
Throughout
will
the entire
shuffle the cards
explanation.
back into a deck. Sorry, go ahead.
Throughout the entire explanation, Etika's eyes did not move away from you. He barely knew you.
Chilling. So what do you
get the
think,
sense
Etika?
that-
Do you
You
think
get the
this...
sense that he took you very seriously.
Good, as he fucking should. Anyway. I think she would reach out and offer her paw to him to take his hand
Oh,
and see if he puts his hand on hers.
He will. Gently.
She put
His
her
hand
other tiny
where-
paw on top.
Have you held Etika's hand before this?
No, only Victor's.
It's ice cold at the moment. Almost like you're
Ooh.
touching a corpse.
terrifying.
A chill runs through her, but she still puts her other paw on top reassuringly.
Could I
And-
actually ask you to make an insight check?
One sec. Oh, come on. It was almost a
No.
20.
16 is still pretty good for an insight at this low level.
And we're friends, so that succeeds on 3 counts. You get the ice cold touch stems all the way to Etika's heart. You get a sense of loss and desperation even. But you also feel a slight, almost like static, running through his fingers. A sense of hope, maybe.
I think she would definitely want to stoke that little flame as much as she could. And she would look him in the eye and say, I know that you have lost much. And I know that you're unsure about your path. But I hope that this reading has helped you understand that you're on your journey. You just need to take control of it. And I think you will find what you seek.
Take control. The initial very stoic, very composed face only broken by the chill hands. It suddenly drops, and he frowns. And he turns away, slightly.
I think she would recognize this and kind of sit back in her seat a little, but think that overall she did what she was trying to do to give him a little bit of hope. And she'll give him a second to compose himself and then stand up to, go get the next person.
It takes more than a second.
Well, however long it takes, she will wait because she doesn't want to break that moment for him.
All right.
He'll nod, bring your hand up, and kind of just clasp both of his hands around it in a very firm thank you. But he won't say it. But he does mean it.
She'll nod understandingly, her little whiskers shaking, just like, yeah, I get you.
Cute.
Kind of just
and
fix his
then
tie, basically do a particularly OCD as all hell maneuver of trying to compose himself. It does not work.
Okay. Zelina comes back out to grab the next person. Who would like to go next?
I feel I should go. It'll be fun.
Victor, my boy, my snail buddy, of course I'll read your fortune. Come with me. Come.
I love it.
Knowing his personality, she won't play any games with him. She'll just tell him which seat to sit in. Sit here, my friend. Sit here. And then she'll close the curtains, sit down, get the mood going. Put her little paws up to her chin. Tell me, Victor, what is the future you seek? What would you like to know about?
Oh. Shoot. I guess the best question is myself. Myself. I want to find myself. Where I land in this world.
A journey of self-discovery is not an easy path, but it's one we all have to walk. Why don't we do a tarot card reading today?
Of course.
Let's do a past, present, future. We'll do 3 cards, and each one will refer to a different part of your life, and we'll see what they have to say about this journey to self-discovery. Now, she'll pick up the cards and start shuffling. While I'm shuffling, tell me a little more about yourself so we can focus this reading.
Well, I guess the best way to describe myself is very loyal. Specifically to a lot of important people that I do endear and love.
Loyalty is a virtue. I can see that about you. Do you, She was trying to leave it open-ended just to get as much info as possible. Can she do like a perception check or something to see if she can get a little bit more
Insight.
info from Insight? That's the one. Insight. Can I do an insight check?
Of course.
Okay. Ew. God, I'm terrible at insight checks. First.
That's okay.
I would say so. Baseline Victor. What is your demeanor? Are you closed off? Are you sitting forward? Are you sitting back? Are you twitching? Like, there's not going to be anything like she's going to get really past like your eyes or anything else like that. But like, what is your most basic like demeanor as you sit there?
I don't know if she'll catch this, but obviously, he is very uptight and like observing on what she's doing, every move. Just very like observant, but in like an excitement. One of his hands is off to the side, kind of like out of nervously stimming. He also does have a mask. All you do see is mostly just his eyes, just like big bright eyes, just staring.
Does he seem like he's buying into it?
Yeah.
If you think. Yeah. Okay.
So
Sure as fuck.
I just want to know how obvious it was that he was into it. You know?
This is one of those things with like this type of role where this is literally your job and you're trained in it. So even though you rolled a 9, I have a buffer in my head of basically you are passing. It's not like you're getting an extreme amount of information. This is someone that you met brand new, but this is also what you do for a living. And just a simple question of like whether or not somebody is buying into it on the surface level, unless they are themselves masters of deception, you would very easily be able to read that person. So if he's buying into it, Victor, I think you said yes, then he's buying into it.
He's just there. He's there. He's ready.
Okay, she's gonna up the drama a little.
Ooh.
And with her knee, she's gonna bump a button on the side of the table that starts playing this low drone music. Think like didgeridoo, like very spiritual,
Secret
get you in the
button.
mood for spirituality kind of thing. And
Not
she's
the
also
didgeridoo.
going to use her left foot to hit another button that just kind of makes the light under the crystal ball flicker ever so slightly, like barely noticeably, just to make it a little magical. And she's running her hands over the cards as she's shuffling them, looking like she's trying to feel her way. All right, Victor, my dear, take this deck and split it anywhere you feel the spirit moves you.
I think he'll do it perfectly right in the middle. Just
Oh my
out of
goodness,
nowhere.
have you ever been gambling? No, bad question. Anyway, give me those. Okay,
That's
and
bad.
she'll take the pick that the part that he grabbed. And she'll pick a card. She'll pick out 3 cards, lay them face down. All right. This is the first card. This is your past, or not necessarily chronologically your past, but kind of who you have been in your life up until now. And it is the strength card. This is a very good card, Victor, and I see why the card was picked for you. This card shows that you are calm and courageous, even when things are difficult. It means that you should and can handle any challenge that comes your way. Do you feel that? Do you feel you go into things with confidence?
A little too much sometimes, yes.
I thought so. Sometimes the strength card can actually be a negative, but I think in your case it's kind of neutral. You are very strong, you have a lot of confidence, and it means that you have the foundation to, build from that place of strength. Now, this card here, this is your current, your present card. This is the King of Swords. The King of Swords gives us the idea that you might be seeing some situations or problems coming up that are going to need your analytical thinking and decisive action. The things that are happening now in your life, you need to tackle with, objectivity and clear thinking. That way you can make the right decision. This is about fairness and justice and being honest and truthful. Are you honest and truthful in your life, Victor?
Yes, obviously. It's something I feel like I carry amongst myself, that honesty is the best policy.
The King of Swords in this place, in this placement in your reading, is telling me that now is the time that you need to use that strength and that confidence to make decisive actions, to tackle the issues in your life, whether they be social or simple things like somebody trying to rig a freaking snail race. These are the times that you need to make decisive action, quick decision making, but move with that confidence that we saw in your past. And as long as you remain honest and truthful, these things will work out for you. This is a very good card. And now we will look at your future. The Two of Swords. As we look at your journey through these cards, you can see that we start very confident, and then we need to think more analytically. But now with the Two of Swords shows in your future a difficult decision, or some kind of situation where you'll be torn between 2 paths. I think that it's telling us that you might start to feel stuck or unsure which way to go. But the Two of Swords tells us that we must use our wisdom and intuition and find a balanced solution and find the right path. Basically, what these cards are telling me is that, you started from a place where you are very secure, very safe, and as you're moving through your life, you're seeing these new situations. And each situation is going to make you use a different part of you, not just your confidence, not just your mind and your analytical brain, but also, your intuition, your connection with the world. I think that this heralds very good things for your future. I feel that whatever decision you are facing in the future that seems difficult is going to be difficult because there's 2 very good options for you. And I think that in this moment you may feel unsure moving forward, knowing that at some point a decision is going to be made. But honestly, looking at this, no matter which way you go, my darling, you are going to have a good life. I think that your journey to find yourself is not going to be the easiest or the simplest, but you will find value in it, and I think that you are on the right path.
you see just like one of his eyes just like slightly tear up. It's not like fully dropping because he can't. Well, we'll get into it later. But he says thank you, like really, really sincerely. Like thank you so much, Selena. I think I really needed this today.
Oh, of course, my darling. And she takes his hand in her little paws and says, I know you'll find out who you are, and I cannot wait to meet who you'll become. Very good fortune for you, my dear. Very good fortune.
All right.
And then if he seems okay, then we'll take him out and get the next person.
Yeah, he just takes a deep breath in and just like takes the lead to walk out.
Okay.
Don't breathe too heavy, my dear. Lots of fog in here. Okay, it's not safe.
Zelina, you take him back out, and you notice that as you reach to the front, like Etika is standing kind of nonchalantly off to the side, and you notice Halder just kind of distracted and walking back towards the mystery mine along the edge. And who else would be next? But like Halder very much seems like he's just something's distracted his attention.
He got that kleptomaniac look in his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Shaney.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well,
You're
Vaughn, would
looking
you
at me
like to
like
go
that.
next? It seems
Stop.
Halder might be a little distracted.
I suppose. Let's do it.
Amazing. I love the attitude. Very positive. Come, come, come.
He kind of like waddles in behind her.
And she will gesture at both chairs and say, sit where you feel the most comfortable.
He gently slides into the closer seat.
Perfect, my friend. Perfect. And she slides into her seat with all the magic buttons. Yes.
I love it.
I was tempted, Pastel. I really was.
Tell me, Vaughn. Actually, let me tell you.
Ooh.
I can tell that you have faced just unimaginable horror. You have seen some things. But I also saw your joy on your face after the Big Top show. And these two polar opposites just ring so interestingly to me, and I would like to know more about you so that I can decide what type of reading to do and how we should guide it. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, what is there to know, really? Born to two humans died, and now we're here.
You lost your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They
my
were
darling,
burned
I'm
alive
so
inside the
sorry.
tavern they owned.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a tale. How old were you?
I was about 16 at the time.
Oh, right in your formative teenage years, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult. You're not too much older than that now, though.
Hold on, I'm actually really bad at math.
He's in his 30s, right?
He's
Or
24. So that's
Yeah.
6 plus 8, so 8 years?
Yeah.
8 years later? Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. I suppose.
It can't have been long enough for your heart to heal after a loss like that. I'm so sorry.
He just kind of nods towards her.
Interesting. He doesn't seem that bothered by it. At least I don't think so. Can I do an insight check?
Yes, you may.
I want to know specifically, is he bothered by the death of his parents, if I can,
Yeah.
or is he buying into what's happening?
Okay.
At the very minimum, is he buying into it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he already knows about, like, the fake accent. Oh, no!
He's
Oh,
pretty
God.
hard to read.
I
Um,
just see a stoic
you
red eye.
don't know. I would say you don't know about the first part where you're like, I wonder how he feels about his parents buying, but you do gather that he's buying into it.
Mm.
But you can tell, with especially someone who's been through trauma, they can be pretty good. I wouldn't
At
call
hiding
it
it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it deceiving. It's
Mask.
more like they're good at having walls of at least seeming neutral or okay.
Yeah. And like just from looking at him, she knows that he's like been through some shit and he's clearly traumatized.
Exactly.
So the fact that he's covering this up, okay, that gives her some insight. Have you ever had your tarot cards read?
Not anytime recently.
Would you like me to do a reading for you?
Mhm. Sure,
I
let's
don't
take a whack at it.
I don't feel that there are any spirits reaching out in this moment, but I do feel a reading would be appropriate. Now, while I shuffle these cards, let's narrow this down. Other than in general, your future, your outlook, those kind of things, is there any realms in your life you'd like to ask the cards about? Any questions you have?
Actually, there is. I would like to know why I'm here at the carnival.
Oh, you're not sure?
No, something about this carnival drew me here, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
All right. We'll do, this is a very common reading. We'll do a past, present, future spread. Let me just get these shuffled here. Okay. And she holds out the deck to him. Please hold this deck, and anywhere you feel moves you, simply split the deck into two.
Vaughn kind of closes his eyes for a second and kind of gets a feel for the cards. He kind of splays them a little bit and puts them back in a neat pile, and then going back and forth like this, and then he just kind of splits it kind of randomly, and then sets them back down on the table.
Whichever half he picked up first, I'm gonna take and put the rest aside. And I'm gonna spread out 3 cards face down and flip the first one. Our first card is the Justice card.
Oh.
The Justice card talks about judgments that are made fairly without bias. It acts like a mirror, reflecting the things you've done in the past, either good or bad. And this card is a reminder that you need to stop doing bad deeds and change your actions now and be accountable for your actions.
He kind of grins a little bit.
She's definitely not thinking about the fucking snail race. Now, this is your past. This is where you've been. This is... In the past, maybe you've done some things that maybe not fully evil, but questionable. This card feels like a warning at the beginning of this reading, to be honest. But let's see what your present is. The Two of Wands.
Not another one.
This is interesting in the context of why you're here. See, this card is about, being stuck between multiple paths. Not in a way such that you're split on the decision of which way to go. I think this card is saying that now in the present, there are multiple ways that your path could move forward. The Two of Wands also tells us that we need to step out of our comfort zone. Perhaps you've been wanting to explore something, wanting to enrich something in your life, but you're afraid. And moving forward to explore this aspect of your life or yourself or something, this yearning to figure out which way you want to go with your life, whether you want to explore this or keep on the path. I think that is saying that's what brought you here today. I'm not, it's not clear what you're seeking, but there's definitely a path forward that if you step out of that comfortable place and expand your horizons, you can accomplish big things. Now, for your future card. Oh, the star. The star is a great card for your future, actually. So this, I'm thinking that this will be after you leave here. You know, we're talking about why you came to the carnival. Maybe this is telling us what will happen after you go, what you may have earned. Now, the star talks about overcoming and going through a terrible hurdle. One that is going to test your strength, and it's going to test your faith. But the star gives us hope that the universe will make it all make sense for you one day. And when you've passed that hurdle, and when you've overcome that, and when you've put your faith in whatever being you have faith in, whether it be the universe, whether it be a person that can help you with your goals, whatever you're putting your faith in is going to lead to blessings. Very good things, lots of positivity. This is honestly a fabulous card. One of the best for a future card. I think what the cards are telling us is that you're asking the wrong question. You don't need to be asking, why did I come to the carnival? You need to be asking, who will I be when I leave the carnival?
Vaughn nods a couple of times, and he kind of looks at the cards for a moment, furrows his brows, and as if in thought, nods again, and politely just, thank you.
And I hope that helped. I feel that you have a very complicated psyche.
Complicated?
But you're so full of darkness, my friend. But the light in your eyes is so very real. I know that you give off this vibe, right? But honestly, I don't know if that's who you are. And I want to say, personally, that even though I helped with your performance earlier, your music and the visions that you gave to the crowd with your magic tricks, I was extremely moved. And I felt very sure in that moment that you're not evil. You're not someone to be feared, although you can be a little scamp. I think that is good in you, and I think that once you see it in yourself, everyone else will see it too.
You can kind of see, like, in his eyes, like, it looks like he's, like, right on the verge of tears, but, like, not quite there yet, because, like, kind of, like, maybe watery eyes is the way I'm kind of thinking of this. But, like, it's almost like he refuses to let it fall. And he just kind of nods again.
She takes that as a complete compliment, because was so closed off at the beginning of this conversation, and she just, like, well, while he's still sitting, pats him on the elbow, because she can reach that, and says, I think you're going to be okay. I think you're here for good reason, and you're going to get good things from being here.
He just kind of sits there for a moment and just kind of lets it soak in. And then he just kind of blinks a couple of times and again says, thank you.
Please, I just saw the chat. I can't.
I know there's so much happening. I was like trying to both focus on
amazing.
that and the story.
Oh, I was totally tapped out focusing on the tarot cards. Aw. That was cute.
Not the angry squirrel.
Okay,
Please.
so this is happening. So this is happening. He fell into my trap. Okay, so Halder, you have this
Roll
angry.
initiative.
We'll see how this goes. It's a fucking squirrel. But who knows? One of my first groups had a really big issue in a closet with a broom, and they even threw a net over it, and the broom went through the entire net. It was a whole problem. They ended up just shutting the door after 6 rounds, realizing they could just shut the door on the broom.
All right, very good.
Screaming.
So and they're like, oh, we can just
Describe
leave
the
the
chair DM.
yeah.
Tell me about the chair DM.
I know. Okay, so Halder. You didn't see this squirrel just come out of fucking nowhere, so it surprised you. And you picked up this acorn, and it is running all up around you. Like, what do you do?
Question: Can
Yeah.
I put the squirrel in the barrel?
Oh.
You know what? It was an
My
empty barrel,
goodness.
and the lid was off on the bottom. So theoretically, yes. Or you could like flip it and like put it in, but there's no like one side does not have a lid.
Okay, so one side's completely open.
Yep.
This is like trapping a mouse in your kitchen level shit, where you put it under a bucket and then put something heavy on the bucket.
Yep.
Halder tries to catch the squirrel as it's just freaking out all over him.
Okay. All right. So I would say, oh, this is gonna be funny. Just make an attack roll, but we're gonna use it as like it's not necessarily like a sleight of hand, but like and it's gonna be a contested roll, on my d20 of a squirrel, which is not gonna have a modifier. It's just gonna be a straight roll on my part. So I rolled a 13. You have to meet or beat. Well, so you're attacking it. It would win if you rolled a 13. So you have to roll a 14 or higher.
Is that an attack roll?
So on your character sheet, first attack roll of this campaign. Okay, on your... I'm going to bring up another. There should be an option...
Is it the attacks and like spellcasting thingy?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's easy when monks have it. So it would basically be a d20 plus your strength modifier. Which your strength modifier is probably like what, +2 or 3 or something like that. Probably higher because you're a barb.
Barb.
That's
The
the
big number.
number under strength, right? Like the bold number.
It's the little number above the big number. So your strength is 2. So just roll me a d20 and we'll add 2 to it, and that'll be your attack roll. And we'll add a proficient. No, it's not. You're not a monk.
Oh,
What'd you get?
Ooh.
What'd you get?
19.
Okay. So this squirrel is like running up on, and you kind of let it go for a second, and then like you kind of predict where it's gonna move, and then you catch it on your shoulder, and now you have this squirrel in your palm. Your very heavy, thick, meaty dwarven hand. What do you do with the squirrel? It's essentially grappled.
Oh. Wait, so he's like manhandling the squirrel in his
Correct.
hand.
And right now, you guys, he is off the path,
So-
so I would say the group doesn't see him, as he
Fuck,
kind of
okay.
wandered. Yeah. So
Very
he's
well.
Screaming.
So Halder.
He left the tent.
Mhm.
Absolutely, he did.
I would
Halder.
say as Halder's holding the squirrel in one hand, he kind of tips the barrel with the open bottom before putting his hand under there with the squirrel and trying to trap the squirrel in the barrel.
All right. Honestly, pretty easy to do. That would be your action for this little mini round. And you would have advantage because you're grappling the squirrel. So you basically lift the barrel, put the squirrel under, close it. You can feel it like skittering beneath. It could potentially tip the barrel over, but effectively the squirrel's trapped. What do you do?
Halder just walks back towards the tent and just leaves the squirrel.
Social
Kinda to
credit
where-
deducted.
If it could get
This poor
out,
squirrel.
but it's not gonna be like easy to get out for him. Type
No.
of thing.
Yeah.
This isn't the talking squirrel, right?
Oh,
You don't know.
Fucking
You don't know.
social credit actually deducted.
Okay. I'm gonna roll one die right now, just as its own strength check. If it rolls a 15 or higher, the barrel will be tipped over. Okay, so you get halfway
Right on
back to
money.
the group, and like you look back a few times, and you see like the barrel like moving a couple inches as it's like thrusting its body against it to try and like tip it. And then all of a sudden, you're probably like 5 feet away from the group. You hear this like the sound of wood thudding on the ground, and you turn around, and you see this squirrel just angry, huffing, looking around, trying to basically see you. Do you try to hide yourself? Do you meet its gaze? What does Halder do?
Halder turns around fully facing the squirrel and just stares down the squirrel to try to intimidate.
Okay. Roll me an intimidation check.
You got this, Alder.
You got this.
So those of you that are standing outside, which the tarot card, by the way, is going still, because that took like about 8-10 minutes, and we're only like 30-40 seconds into that. The squirrel looks at you, huffs, and then is full on fucking sprinting towards you. Etika and anyone else that's outside the tent just basically sees Halder turn around staring down this thing, and all of a sudden this little angry fluff is full on sprinting towards Halder.
Maybe Etika and Victor outside.
A temptation to try to kick the squirrel as it comes up to me.
Damn, I'm gonna let you try that.
Please.
You have a
I'm gonna let you-
round. Anyone, I would say, so the squirrel's within 30 feet of your group. So just know that. So like the next round, the squirrel is going to reach Halder. So you basically have a round to like, if anyone wants to do anything, speak now.
I want to drop kick the squirrel.
Do not.
no, not
I
the
wasn't
drop
asking for
kicking.
permission.
Huh?
Well, the squirrel's not there
Do
yet.
I use?
This is
Do I
like
spend a
prepping
spell
for
for
the
this?
squirrel to get
do
there.
Do I use a
That's
spell for
right.
this?
We would need
What
movement.
spell would you use?
Because okay. Well, is it obvious that Halder's about to kick the squirrel?
Halder, what do you look like you're about to do?
That
Okay.
was just an option. That was just like one of
Even said
like
thought.
the thoughts in my head was like, I really want to punt this squirrel, but I'm probably not.
But I mean, that
Um,
squirrel's gonna attack. So like you know that.
Yeah.
He got the fire of hell in his eyes.
See it.
Halder, I would say, is like
I'll
in an
hold.
aggressive stance. Okay. Halder, you were faster than a squirrel. I'll say you go ahead and go
Hopefully.
first. So, what do as the squirrel is about to reach you within 5 feet?
The only real thought going through my head right now is the punting of the squirrel.
Okay.
I don't know that that's the
You can
best
try.
idea.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, let's go ahead and do another
You
d20 roll plus 2.
This is
No,
going
you
to
wanna?
gather the entirety of my ire towards you.
What if you tried to kick him towards the bubble pop teapot? Maybe he could catch one of the bubbles. I don't know how far that is. Probably farther than you can kick.
Grapple it again and just throw it. It would be funny.
Halder going for the field goal.
Basically.
Goal.
But yeah, roll me a d20 when you get a second.
20.
And we'll add 2 to that. Okay. Yeah, you hit the squirrel. It's a squirrel. It doesn't have that high of AC.
My God.
So
Oh,
the
my
way
goodness.
that it works in D&D is like open hand combat is a d6. So, and you have a strength modifier. So it would be roll me a d6 and we'll add 2, and that's how much damage you do to a squirrel with your foot.
Oh my god, it's dead. It is dead 6 times.
Does anyone want to guess how much hit points does a squirrel has?
I
I'm
know
gonna
how
guess
much.
2.
It has 4.
Okay, we have 4. Anybody
I'm gonna
else?
guess 2.
You have 2? Okay. Anybody else?
1.
1. It has 1 hit point. 1.
Oh no!
So that's
Oh,
8
Poor squirrel.
8 hit points.
Like I
This is
said,
Baldur's
So-
Gate all over again, Kyle.
So
He
Wait,
did
what
this in
happened to
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate and
Gate?
blew the
Oh
thing
my
up.
fuck.
So
Anyway, go on.
Halder, this is one of my favorite things that I have stolen from Matt Mercer. How do you want to do this to a squirrel?
Hey, we got our first. How do you want to do this on a fucking squirrel? Congratulations, you monster.
So you go to punt it, you instantly make contact with this angry ass squirrel. It doesn't have to explode. It's like, this is like your opportunity to be like, yeah, I fucking punt it all the way to the bubble pop teapot area or wherever you want it to go.
Can it be more of like a defense kick and not a
Yeah.
straight
You
up?
killed it. It's dead.
Yes.
Non-lethal blow?
Correct. So this is a great, brings up a great point. Like, the only time that non-lethal blows do not work is when you're using ranged weapons, because you can't control the amount of force when a ranged weapon hits. But if you are in melee, so like this is a good example where you're like, I want to knock this sucker out, and you just cold cock the squirrel and it just like lands in front of you. That's totally acceptable.
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock the squirrel out.
All right, you just the squirrel comes up and you do a defensive kick and it just got knocked down hard, and it does tumble a little bit. And there's actually just very poetically like another barrel to the right of Kaeda's Corner's tent, and it just lands against it, just completely knocked out.
So Etika's absolutely horrified and stunned. Kind of just stares at it for a second, turns to Halder, gets pretty much right up against your face, and goes, "Explain."
How do I want to explain this?
He'll start walking towards the squirrel.
Ethica, you obviously saw that it was running after him.
Squirrels do not attack unless threatened. Do you know this? Come
Do
on
we,
out,
though?
little one.
It's a carnival
out.
squirrel, man. It's Wild West.
It probably had too
Oh.
much cotton candy.
I'll roll about, kind of just roll my right wrist, and it'll glow kind of this bright blue as I prepare to cast Healing Word as soon as I see it.
Okay. You cast
Oh,
Healing
yes,
Word.
the one.
What is your healing word?
Let's see. 1d4 plus, I believe my spellcast mod is 4. Actually.
Mhm.
Is it actually? Hold on.
I mean, even
Perhaps.
base roll, you're gonna bring the scroll back up, but just
Yeah,
for
it'll-
just for flavor, I'm always like, "What is your healing word?" Which can
Hiya!
literally be Jamba Juice, and the scroll comes
So you
back
meant
up.
like actual
Oh,
word.
I
Yes.
yes. the word I said.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't have to be a word. I'm just being playful.
I'm sure you meant literal.
Shamba juice. Fucking, that killed my entire line of thought.
All right.
Train of thought where.
Embrace the warmth of the lady.
The squirrel comes back to consciousness and is very much like effectively hungover from like a really bad concussion. And just looks at Etika and just the eyes are very sleepy. And it just looks around very confused. Essentially, whatever temperament it had before is completely gone. and it is recovering from its all of a sudden injuries.
I'll slowly just kind of put out my hand for it. Just an open hand for it to climb onto.
Yeah, go ahead, make an animal handling with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Win.
Oh, I forgot to do
Hey.
advantage.
It's
Anyway.
okay. You can roll. You
You won
can.
anyways.
You could do another roll, just to see if you get a nat 20. Okay.
No.
Yeah. It senses residual from your healing word spell, and kind of just almost drunkenly, kind of like steps and scatters its way towards your palm before just kind of flopping in it.
I will gently cup it with 2 hands and start walking back towards Halder.
It kind of like tries to sit up, and then it just kind of does what cats do, where they like loaf.
Very
No.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just raise my eyebrows at Halder as I look at him.
Halder. Halder feels the look from Etika and places the golden acorn like right by the squirrel in Etika's hands.
This acorn is bigger than the squirrel's head. It immediately like looks at it, and its eyes just completely dilate. Its ears goes back, and it starts like twitching happily, and it grabs the acorn, and it's just like it's like chittering at you, Etika, and it doesn't leave, but it's just like holding on to the acorn, and just looks at you, Halder, now with like lovingly eyes, like you just gifted it the world.
I'm kind of just staring at it like complete deadpan look like, are you serious?
The ending we needed from the Ice Age.
And it's just very, and it's, I'll say at this point, this is where Zelina and I think it's Vaughn exit the tent to come back and join the party.
Vaughn just kind of looks
Ah.
between everybody like, what happened?
I changed my mind. I don't want to hear your explanation.
Etika, you making friends?
All of the forest creatures are my friends.
Oh, that's so sweet. Maybe your little squirrel friend would like to come with us to go get some food.
What have you done?
So,
Oh, sorry, should I spell it out like a dog? Food.
I'm
And
going
she
to slowly
smiles.
kneel down and just let the squirrel go.
the squirrel doesn't leave.
I slowly stand back up. I slowly kneel back down and let the squirrel leave.
The squirrel moves, so it's now currently standing on top of your foot.
I think you did
Monica,
make a
is-
friend, Etika.
Thingwood wants uppies. You should give it to it.
I will pick the squirrel back up and put it on my shoulder and pretend it's not there for the rest of the duration.
It
I have a command now.
instantly moves up your shoulder and kind of gets into your collarbone, and then like squirrels actually kind of have a chirping sound that they make. It's kind of like purring, that it kind of settles in, and you can very much feel like, I don't know, what do you call like the tip of the acorn, like that little like the thing that the stem. Thank you. You can feel the stem just ever so slightly like poking into your neck every time you take a step. And it is, you have a little friend there. And no, it is not the same squirrel from earlier.
I don't know what to say. That would have been so mean.
That would have been very mean.
I'll just deadpan. I'll just deadpan, like not even turn to Zelina, but obviously speaking to her.
Mhm.
So what? Am I a druid now?
Oh, looks like you all got no friends at the carnival. See, Vaughn has Gordon, and you
Annika
have.
does a
Oh, what's
backflip.
his...
Huh?
I hope to God that squirrel's an acrobat.
That's funny.
Oh, and what will you name your little squirrel friend?
Do you have a name?
It kind of turns its head towards you, just tiltingly. Are you saying that in Sylvan or just in Common?
In Sylvan.
Okay.
Dost thou have a name?
Its ears perk forward in recognition of the language you're speaking. And its tail kind of slightly twitches, but it has no way to communicate.
And for the time being, I shall name you Twitch.
Cute.
That's so cute.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Whew. Okay. Oh my god, that's amazing. And when you say the word twitch and Sylvan, it chirps and twitches once more back at you before kind of actually nuzzling you and kind of settling back down on your shoulder. All right.
Atticus sighs.
That's it. Annika sighs. All right. So is the plan for the party to make its way towards the feasting orchard?
Yeah.
I feel like we should, because then we could do, if we want to do the carousel or the lake or the Hall of Illusions, they're all kind of like on one side with each other, and like we could just come down the other side.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your group is starting to kind of weave its way. You guys make your way. By the time you get to the big top, I will say, in this entire scene of like Zelina reading everyone's future, their current state, etc., that is enough to increase the carnival's mood up by 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't fuck it up.
Oh,
Even the Hulk.
Mhm. And the energy of the carnival is like at its peak. People are laughing, people are smiling, more people are getting tickets. Lines are very much getting longer at each of the events. And as you guys make your way past the big top, kind of going towards the Silver Song Lake and Gondola Swans, you see kind of coming around the corner a burly looking bugbear, very tall, but kind of like, I would say not like massive muscles, but he has muscles, wearing dungarees, fairy wings, and a helmet made from a jack-o'-lantern, approaches your group. He kind of looks you all, Zelina and Halder, you would recognize him as Burly. He's also kind of he's the backup strongman when Halder is not able to perform for whatever X reason. So he's kind of he's a stagehand, but he also has aspirations to be a strongman. He looks at the group and he goes, "Follow me. Management wants to see you."
Oh god.
Wow.
Vaughn, what did you do this time?
No, it's here to see me. I believe I am rather impressed. I did not expect a meeting so soon.
It's not just you, it's the entire group.
Oh. Very well.
Oh my. Even me?
Even you, Zelina. And even you, Halder.
I.
Let's go. We don't want to keep the misters waiting.
I guess we should follow. You guys all good with that?
I mean, yeah, I don't think we have a choice.
I mean, there's
Probably
always
do,
a
but
choice.
not the best choice to not follow.
But the carnival loves us, so let's not. Let's just follow.
All right.
Go win.
So Burly leads.
But my good Burley, the show must go on. I'm kidding, lead the way.
Burly leads your group to the back of the big top where the staff area is, and the entire staff area is surrounded by magical brambles that Zelina and Halder, you have like basically the code word to make those brambles retract, because that's where you guys is, it's like your safe space. And that is where we will end tonight, with Burly creating an opening in the wall of thorns that surround the staff wagons. And as the bugbear leads your group to the circle of wagons, you see leaning against a particular ostentatious wagon is an aging clown with a painted grin. He puffs a bubble pipe and glares at you as the bugbear, ignoring the clown, opens the wagon's doors and ushers your group inside. Inside, you both see, all of you see Mr. Light and Mr. Witch waiting patiently, kind of,
Gulp.
to speak with you.
Define kind of.
Oh.
Mm.
And that's where we'll
Oh,
end
this
tonight.
is so great.
Man, they're going to be pissed at me.
Probably.
All
I
right.
mean, you just mock/mimic them.
Mock. I mock them. Frankly, simply, I mock them.
We're lucky that didn't
Weird.
impact the mood.
It did.
Did.
It did. So what would have happened actually is you guys would have, so had that went well, had he succeeded on the performance check, you guys would have went up 3 points getting to max, but because it didn't go poorly, you only got 2.
Oh. Well, okay.
Oh,
then.
good thing we did the tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that ends our session, and we're going to transition to Stars and Wishes, as well as choosing inspiration. So
Oof.
who would like to begin?
Ooh.
Wow, that was a good tarot read.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and Pastel.
Yeah,
all of
that's
them were-
definitely
all
my
of them
star.
were.
I loved those.
Oh. If
I
were-
cried for victors.
I also started tearing up when we were talking about Vons. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
The great thing is I've completely forgotten any details you told me about your characters' backgrounds. That was all the cards.
That's crazy.
Hell yeah.
And this
You
is why I
have
fuck with
no
the tarot
idea.
cards.
You have no idea how well those cards fit.
Yes, I can't wait to see. I'm not actually a tarot card reader at all. I literally have something
Sure.
on my stream called fake tarot card reading because I don't know any of the things, but that went
What do you
good.
mean? That was
It works.
perfect. That's how you did it. You did it. You did it perfectly.
You did the thing.
You did
She's
the
a
thing.
nerd.
I very
yeah.
much agree.
That's my star for sure, was the tarot readings. I really felt like we connected. And my wishes is that Etika is forever forced to keep that fucking squirrel as a pet. Because of that 20
I
animal
second
handling.
this. I second
Heard
this.
that.
Have you ever heard the moniker, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours?
Well, good thing you don't love
That's
it.
a rule to Etika. So,
Hey,
this
he
thing
said it
is
for you.
mine now.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, maybe I didn't understand. Let me put it back down. Okay, it crawled on my foot. All right. Very good.
All right.
Soften him up.
Zelina, do you have a wish for next session?
Oh, that was my wish.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
that was. No, you're right. You're right.
My wish
nope.
is that he's forever forced
Nope.
to have that as a pet.
You're right. You're right. Who would like to go next?
I'm really bad at this. Everything was really good.
True.
Hell yeah.
I think your performance was really good.
What?
Very imaginative.
Mm-hmm. You all worked extremely well together. I love when players yes and each other and work as a team to kind of create a performance.
The how cold my hands were that whole scene. That's just gorgeous to me.
I like the
Squirrel
the-
scene
fucking-
had me going though.
Just need to take control of it.
I just
Order cleric too. It's just everything come together.
thank you, Kyle,
God.
for because like my star, like everything of this like whole thing was amazing. But the fact that you guys are using the chat and I like to like have side scenes like that where I can also play into it when I'm like, hey, Pastel, this is your scene, have fun with it, and then I could have like a side scene with that where like, and knowing that his character was like a little klepto, he rolled a 9 on his perception, so I was like, fuck, he's gonna see something, but it's gonna be like it's a shiny object for him to get enough interest. But I'm curious what he's gonna do. Is he gonna pursue it? Because he could have been like, not worth it, right?
Hmm.
And
Definitely.
then I was like, oh yeah, it's a golden acorn, and in my head I'm like, oh my god, a fucking squirrel. And I just love the fact that the barbarian was the first in the party to kind of get into an altercation. So thank you, Kyle, for that.
absolutely.
Mhm. That was good.
Wait, what was the shiny thing? I didn't realize that.
He's
So
an
kleptomaniac.
acorn.
Oh.
So he came. So like the way that I said it in my head is like he came outside. He was looking around, looking for anything shiny. He rolled a 9 in his perception, so he caught something shiny in his head. It looked like a golden coin, kind of rolling off the thoroughfare, like somebody dropped it out of their pocket. So when he went to go investigate it, he knew where it had kind of fallen, like in between some barrels. So he moved it, and the shiny thing wasn't a gold coin; it was a golden acorn that had
I find
fallen
that so
from
funny.
that had fallen from like one of the trees or something. And so also unbeknownst to him, a squirrel had also basically dibs that acorn, and because he's like still a larger person, was able to get the acorn first, and the squirrel's like, fuck you, that's mine.
I'm going to awaken the squirrel.
Hell yeah.
That's my wish. No, it's not actually.
All right, are
should be.
there any other stars or any other wishes for the session?
My wish is I want Mr. Light to have taken my little doodad as a direct jab at him.
Okay.
This isn't
Wild.
not exactly Etika's intention, but
Mhm.
I as the player's intention,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm basically trying to call them out.
Yeah. Oh, heard. Loud and clear. Felt.
It was there.
You know,
I think that was pretty clear.
you know, DM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I very much do. Heard.
I'm here on business. Need I remind you?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, any other wishes or?
I think my favorite part was really just the end of the big top, because the fire was for me it's nice.
Fun. Fire is nice.
Fire's
Yeah.
nice.
That was for Victor, but I mean, I
Is it-
personally like.
Is it frosty? Is it?
Shush. I wish.
I
though.
still want. I need you to draw that scene. I need you.
No. I wish though. I kind of want a more something to have more Holder and Zelina moments.
Aww.
It's like the first intro to them, just like Zelina being thrown onto the light switch. The lights was really nice, and then like
really
their
cute.
side talk was really cool.
Aww.
That's
Just
really
need more
sweet,
moments.
Frosty.
They besties.
Mm-hmm.
Besties.
I agree. I'm looking
They were
forward to those moments.
roommates.
They were roommates.
All right. Anyone else?
He's too tall for her, don't worry.
Oh, if that's the case, then her options are
Man.
very limited.
Mm-hmm.
Options where
LOL.
There's the squirrel.
Oh,
I did think about how big that squirrel would be in comparison to her while we were
Uh,
doing that.
just cast and large, I guess.
Let's just say I'm glad that Zelina didn't see him kick the squirrel, because that would have made her a little squeamish.
Oh, buddy. Well, if there's no one else, shall we have votes for who they'd like to have inspiration next session?
Points of pastel.
I agree, Pastel.
Pastel.
Not to be biased, I also pass Pastel. I also want to quote Zelina, "You're on your journey, you just need to take control of it."
To the
So
order
good.
cleric.
Mhm.
So good.
So good.
Just fucking chef's kiss,
Need a quotes
Pastel.
chat.
Nice work.
I'm biased.
I need a quotes chat.
I think I wrote like
I make one
another
for
one
all.
too.
My games.
There was a second one during like my reading that you pointed
Oh,
out.
it was the one I was talking about, like, you're not someone to be feared or someone to run away from, though. You can be a scamp. But
You
I
can
know that
be a
there's
scamp.
good in you and I can see it.
Mm.
And it was like, oh yeah, they were talking about how the carnival would like give him good things and stuff, like on his journey to goodness. So cute. But it's just like the opposite of his demeanor. Like she felt like she saw through to the real him. It was very cute. I loved it.
Totally. All right,
So good.
Pastel,
That-
you
The readings, so good.
you have inspiration.
Woo!
And next session, we will pick up with the party finally having, for a lot of you, a long time coming meeting with Mr. Light and Mr. Witch.
Ugh.
I'm
That
not
picture
gonna
was
sugarcoat it.
chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Witch reminded me of the merchant from Resident Evil Village.
Oh, yeah.
How he just sits there and
Ooh.
glares at you.
Yeah.
Just like,
Before we hop off, I have your homework for this week. Your homework is going
I
to
was
be
just about to ask.
if you wanted 2 magical items for your character, what are those items?
It's going to be a while.
Keep in mind, and I'll take more than 2, but keep in mind, I also like, if you want an item to grow with you, in Critical Role, they have this thing where like an item can basically become awakened and then also become exalted. So if that's something that you want, keep that in mind. I'm willing to do homebrew stuff. I just need to make sure it's balanced and all that stuff. But this is tip of the iceberg. This is me trying to be like, here, help me help you of what you would like to how you would like to see your character decked out. And this literally is spell scrolls. This is armor, necklaces, group items. Like, the world is your oyster. There's thousands upon thousands of items in D&D. So, if you have any questions, shoot them to me. But I'd like to hear 2 specific to your character items that you would like.
Period.
Wow, that's cool.
It's gonna be a tough one, but I like it.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for here. Thank you so much for tuning in and being at the table. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are too.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Well, let's see. 2 weeks. It puts us, just looking at the calendar, making
But
sure.
I think puts us in July.
Yeah, it puts us on July 6th. That is July 4th weekend. Just want to clarify with the
Ooh.
July
group.
6th?
True.
Yeah, the 4th is a Thursday.
Mm-hmm. So, do we have?
Uh,
Does anyone need have plans that weekend? Do we need to postpone? Now is the time to try and coordinate
I
that.
don't.
I'm
I
going
do
to
believe I've already
visit-
requested time off for it, so I think we're good.
Okay.
What was the
Saturday,
next?
July 6th.
You're
Yeah,
leaving
that's my
that day,
that's
right,
the
babe?
day I leave after visiting Al, and I'll be home like pretty late.
Okay. Are you Eastern?
Do
Give me-
when-
Monday.
When are you leaving?
Let me check again.
I'm Eastern.
Okay.
Unless you
Actually,
specific.
when do I get home?
When do you get home?
If that, let's see.
Do we want to do it like the weekend after? So like the 13th?
I could definitely be open to that. I could have a back-to-back, or we could do that Sunday. It's up to you guys. To give you guys a day of adjusting, but I could also do this the 13th, and that should be enough lead time to ask for time off. Yeah.
I'm free Sundays, but I think Steven works Mondays and
Okay.
Kyle often works Mondays. Would it be possible to do a different time of day as well if we did it on Sunday? Like a little bit earlier so we weren't going into like
Yeah.
really small hours for Eastern?
Totally.
Oh,
Totally.
I could just
Would that
do
work
right
for
next to
everybody?
Al.
Because I don't work at all. Never mind. What am I talking about? Kyle, you're usually off Sundays, right?
Yeah, I'm always off Sundays.
No,
Babe, you specifically, I think I remember you signing up for a flight that was like really late in the day on Saturday.
It's at 5 or it's at 9:59 your time
Never
that
mind.
day. Yeah.
Oof,
so just thought it was
A nighttime
good.
flight? Crazy.
I love nighttime flights. They're the best.
What if
Um,
what if we do like is noon or like 2
Noon on the
p.m.?
7th.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
Or-
noon. I'm thinking noon PST, so that would be 3 p.m. EST.
Okay.
Because I like to sleep
I'm
on Sundays.
absolutely down.
Which day?
That would work for me.
Okay. So let's
Which day?
let's do noon
On
on
the
the
7th.
Sunday
7th.
the 7th.
I'm gonna put this
That
on
works
our
out
face.
perfectly because then it won't run into any like late hours, which is amazing.
Exactly. And you won't feel pressed to like
7.
rush
Like,
out at the end to get
yes.
to bed and have to wind down and all that. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll.
Because
be
I don't know
allowed
what
to
I'll
get
be
that time
scheduled
off,
that
but we'll
Monday
see.
yet. I get that scheduled, I think, this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Because it was hard enough remembering my character after 2 weeks. 3 weeks, I think would be too
Same.
much for me.
That's fair.
Would be rough.
All
I
right,
had to study my
I get
character
separation
sheet.
anxiety.
cute. It'll get
Me
easier
too.
with time, I promise. All right, I'm putting this in all of our chats, so it is there.
Wait,
for
I'm off on the
us.
7th. Hold up. I'm so
Uh-huh.
glad I called that day off. Or you're
Period.
like, oh, I might work on that day. No, I'm not. I called that off.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
that's what I'm
you.
currently doing. Is just
We're gonna
requesting the days
call
after
a full
off.
week off.
Future self knew.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Period. So that still keeps us on like the same like bi-weekly schedule too, which will be great.
Exactly.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
I won't
Exactly.
really be like, oh look, I'm home after a flight. Now let's do D&D and mentally drain myself.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Period.
I'm gonna hop off here. Don't feel like you have to hop off too, but thank you again. I'm having a lot of fun playing with you folks.
Yeah. Thank you for DMing
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah. Have a good
Sounds
night.
fun.
Wow.
Good
You
night.
too.
Bye.
Goodbye.